It's game day. Bears versus Commanders, Thursday night football. I'm actually going to be at the game today. We bought these tickets back in July. And if you guys are not at the game, just look for me in the TV because I've been scammed. This is a joke. I deserve a refund, specifically for Matt Eberflus. Venmo me so I can be reimbursed and just have some financial stability after wasting my money on this team this season. I love y'all. We'll walk into the game. I think the stadium's a little closer than we think. We're hoping for the best and our fantasy players do well, but Nick Buckets just died. RIP to a legend. Maybe we can get this dub in his honor. I wouldn't hold our breaths. Bear down. Let's get it, baby. We made it to the stadium. First primetime game of Venture Thursday Night Football. What I have to start doing now is going to every game for us to have a comeback this season. Bear down, Bears are back. Let's go.
Is that him? That's him? Justin! We love you, Justin! Yo, are the Bears back, Richard? Are the Bears back?
Post-game report. All I know is the Bears are back. I broke the curse. I was the reason why they've lost 15 games in a row. It's because I haven't attended a live game. I will now be attending all games moving forward for us to make a comeback this year. Bear down. Even Richard Sherman said the Bears are back. I got it on video. Love y'all. Bear down. Peace.
We got you, Sammy.
What's going on, guys? How are we doing? A little midday stream. It's been a while since we've done one of these, but I'm super excited to get another guest of the week in the books. We got Marks from Mark's Card Shop going to be joining us here shortly. I appreciate everyone tuning in. Let's get set up over here. Let's make sure we get Mark on here. Bear with us, chat. Bear with us. Let's see. Boom. There he is, the man of the hour.
Sam, how we doing?
Good. How you doing, Mark?
Hey, can't complain, man. Little midday Bears talk. Let's do it, man.
Hey, a little Bears talk, hobby talk. Maybe we'll rip something. It's staring me right in the face here, Mark. We're gonna have to try to get to it if we got time. So we are.
Hey, I know a guy. If it doesn't go well, I do know a guy who's got more. So don't worry, we'll figure it out.
Awesome. Love to hear that. So I appreciate you tuning into the stream. Our guest of the week, We try to make it weekly live stream series where we bring in a guest and we talk Bears or whatever else we want to talk about. So, if you want to do a quick intro, just tell us a little bit about yourself. For those of you who don't know, Mark's in Illinois, so that's one Bears tie that's related to us here. But give us a little elevator pitch on who you are, and then we'll get into the shop, of course, too.
Of course, yeah. For me, I'm not your typical diehard Bears fan. I was telling Sam, I grew up, my dad told me, hey, the Cowboys, man, the Cowboys. That's who he grew up watching. The Lakers. It was kind of a tough time for a kid in Chicago suburbs in the 90s. You're kind of like watching the Lakers and the Cowboys with your dad. You love your dad, but also you are, inundated with the fandom of course, of the Bears and the Bulls and the Blackhawks and the Cubs. I am a diehard Cubs and Blackhawks fan, and I'm a big Bears fan. Obviously, it's good for community. It's good for business. I want the Bears to win another Super Bowl. But the reality is I'm a football fan. I've been playing fantasy for decades, and I love the card market around sports. And so I'm happy to dive into all of it, and we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, you mentioned the card shop, so tell us a little bit about Mark's Card Shop. We've been tagging in some promo posts, and I came across your content. I don't know when I first started this page, and or when I first started getting into the hobby a little bit, and the algorithm worked its magic, of course. But tell us a little bit about Mark's Card Shop, where you're located, days of the week. We'll clip it, we'll promote it. We're all about supporting small businesses. So do your
thing. Appreciate that. Yes. So I am Mark. I started Mark's Card Shop June of 2021. It's been a whirlwind since then. It's been absolutely amazing. From the city building us a bike rack outside of our store because of all the kids' bikes outside the store, to NFL players like JJ McCarthy and Cole Kmet finding their way into our store. Really, really cool stories. One of our biggest customers, his name's Jonah. He was just in a few months ago with Cole Kmet, Advocate Healthcare, and the Chicago Bears. So we had an awesome little time there. Check it out in our Instagram if you don't know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I quit a 11-year sales career to chase my dreams, start a sports card, Pokemon card community shop, and it's been amazing. And we're located 914 Curtis Street, Downers Grove, Illinois. We're open 6 days a week, every day but Monday. We're 12 to 7 Tuesday through Friday, and 11 to 5 on the weekends.
All right, awesome. And then tell us a little bit about that JJ McCarthy and Cole Kmet experience, because someone in the community said, hey, ask him about the Cole Kmet kind of interaction. So we definitely want to kick that off right away.
For sure. I'll talk about the Cole one mainly because that is the Bears tied one. And basically one of our good customers, to start his life, he had a few open heart surgeries and, just a really amazing story. He's a wonderful kid. Now, I had no clue about any of this, but his parents approached me and said, the Bears and Advocate Healthcare want to do something special for him. And they're thinking about doing a school assembly, but he loves coming into your shop. Would you be so honored to say less? Of course. So we had Jonah in with the help of the Bears and Advocate Healthcare. We surprised him. He had no idea that Cole Kmet would be there and everyone down to the mascot. It was an amazing day, very special. And they actually took him to Arizona. He got to hang out with the team and the coach, and it was just truly special. I mean, all credit goes to Advocate Healthcare and the Bears for putting it together. I was happy to be a part of it. And JJ was a little more, it was fun, is two kids that love coming into the shop. I believe their cousin is getting married to him. So I kind of set some things up with them. And I had actually worked with their mom on a PTA school project. We did a card store owner for the day for a couple of the local elementary schools to help raise money for charity. And, in this case, it was actually to help build the school playgrounds. So it's just, getting involved in the community anyway and every way I can helps lead to opportunities like that. So both of them, by the way, JJ and Cole, could not say anything better about those guys. True stand-up dudes.
Awesome. That's awesome story. And giving back to the community, of course, is always a priority, and just kind of hearing that story and trying, making wishes come true and stuff like that. It's super cool. And JJ McCarthy, Cole Kmet. JJ McCarthy, obviously Minnesota Vikings. So we'll see how he does next year. But Cole Kmet, hopefully Cole Kmet gets a little bit more involved with this Bears offense now that Ben Johnson's at the helm of everything. So we'll get right.
I hope so, man.
We'll get right into that, I guess, with the Bears talk. And what were some of your? I guess what was your reaction? I know you mentioned you're not the biggest, Bears fan, but
Sure.
What would be your initial thoughts on the Ben Johnson hiring? And you're actually in Illinois, right? So you get people coming to the shop and probably crying, whining, and cheering about the Bears 24/7, depending on the time of year and the result from Sunday. But how you feel about the Ben Johnson hiring as a new head coach from a distant Bears fan, and just kind of go from there?
I think it's super important, man. I mean, you get a guy, you hear some of the stories about him from the locker room, and we need that intensity, right? Like I've seen it all, man. The 90s Bears, like the Miller led offenses. I mean, we went through the Cutler era. There's been some highs, few of them, and some deep lows. And at the end of the day, it always starts at the top. You got to like rebuild that culture, because we could pick all the talent we want in free agency or in the draft, but if we can't develop and nurture that talent and build a culture, a winning culture around them, in the end, you have how many other teams fighting every year doing the same thing, bringing all of their resources to the table to try to outduel you every offseason. And, so yeah, obviously there's some things that need to be shaken up from the top down. And, and then just tactically, I really hope Ben Johnson brings some of that Lions lineman that he's got, because they also need to start building from the inside out. It's like, I love the sexy names. I love, let's get like a DJ Moore. Let's get some great safeties. Let's do all this. But the reality is we need to protect Caleb, and we need to start building inside out and really start to just get nasty in the trenches. I mean, that's really one thing I noticed about the Bears when I'm seeing them play higher level competition. It's like that's where it matters the most, and where I hope they focus this offseason.
No, you mentioned it right there. You mentioned the trenches, which a lot of Bears fans have been pushing back on Ryan Poles even before this past season. Is going into last offseason is like, why are we not addressing the offensive line? You're a former offensive lineman. Why can't you identify, prospect, develop offensive lineman as a former offensive lineman? And some breaking news earlier today is Myles Garrett did request a trade from the Cleveland Browns. So will Ryan Poles make a call? We got the draft capital. We have the cap space. We can make things happen if we wanted to go that route on the defensive side of the ball. And we got Mo in the TikTok chat saying we better get Myles. And I appreciate that like on the stream, Mo. But yeah, so Myles Garrett, and then you do have some free agents coming up in this free agency period. Trey Smith from the Chiefs. That's like that guard that they probably can't afford to pay because they're paying Chris Jones and Patrick Mahomes. And
Yeah.
So hopefully, we can get some people in free agency. But yeah, my biggest thing with the Bears is, even prior to last season, like I wanted us to address the offensive line. The first person that we signed in free agency was DeAndre Swift. So hopefully he's kind of learned his lesson. It seems like things are changing a little bit in Chicago. Feels like I always give Ryan Poles and Kevin Warren their flowers when they do, but I will criticize them very hard, especially for certain things. But it looks like Kevin Warren is having a little bit of an impact on kind of the culture there in the front office, at least, with like, you're paying, I don't know if you saw today, but Ben Johnson's contract is $13 million a year. That's like the 8th highest for a head coach right now in the NFL, where the Bears would have never done that before. Kevin Warren's really getting in George McCaskey's ear, and it seems like it's paying off. And he did say Ryan Poles would have like lead point on the hiring of the head coach. I wasn't so confident that we would get Ben Johnson, but we did. And I wasn't confident just because of the money side of things. It's not like a move we made in the past, but super excited about it. You mentioned like someone that can develop Caleb. Like, you got to get that Kyle Shanahan, that Kevin O'Connell, that Matt LaFleur type of head coach in today's football, right? So I think it was a huge move. I'm super excited about it. The creativity he could bring to the offense, and actually getting players involved, where Shane Waldron and Matt Eberflus, it was just a shit show from from the beginning of that season. And firing a head coach in the middle of the season, like, that was new for the Bears. So it does look like things are kind of maybe changing for the better and trying to replicate what other people are doing, other successful franchises are doing, so to speak, around the league.
Yeah, well said, man. I mean, and from one intense dude, like I see Johnson and he leads with intensity, and that's so, again, I probably focus on those traits even more than the next thing. But for someone to just develop that standard in the locker room and say, you know what, guys, like, the gone is the old Bears. We're done with the same old BS and excuses, and like we're gonna do things people don't expect of us, you know. And I love how they were so aggressive when they went to go out and get them. And I know after the loss, it was kind of like let's pull back the cavalry a bit and let's just let them regroup. But we're gonna go get them, and we're gonna let them know we're serious and we're sending everyone. I like that. You have to change how you used to do things. And like I said, you start from the top down. They did that. They're starting to show that they're going to do different moves that they didn't do before, and you can only appreciate that. You know, like I said, I was a Cubs fan, and seeing them develop from total dumpster fire and then just years and years of just punishment and just like everyone who's not a Cubs fan, just easiest low hanging fruit joke to make. It just, oh, okay, 100 years, Cubs. Once they started to get the right pieces and the leadership change from the top, you could kind of start to see it build on itself. And I feel like we're maybe in year 2 of that, where it's like you kind of have to have that a painful pullback a little bit just to make sure you get everything else dialed in. And I think Caleb is an awesome pickup for them. Again, people are going to be revisionist history. Hey, I should have had this guy. Should have had Mahomes over Trubisky. But the reality is you got who you got. He's an excellent quarterback. Time to protect him, you know, and then we can focus on building on the outside.
Yeah, for sure. I think Ben Johnson's really going to get him into rhythm. If you kind of remember how Jared Goff and Ben Johnson have been playing the last couple of years, it's like on time, in rhythm, like not really a lot of this hero ball. So I'm really interested to see how that will work. But Ben Johnson did say in his kind of post-hire interviews and stuff, like he made an offense. He sat down with Jared Goff, said, what are you good at? Play action pass. He's really good at that play action pass, kind of like Aaron Rodgers, right? And he just said he's not going to bring that same offense kind of to the Bears. He's going to build around Caleb's strengths, which we've never seen here in Chicago with any of the quarterbacks we drafted. Whether that was Trubisky, like Nagy wanted to keep him in the pocket, whether that was Will Fields, like we didn't want to utilize his mobility to the level that it could have been utilized. And here with Caleb Williams, we didn't see with this past season that we weren't really leveraging his strengths a lot until Thomas Brown kind of maybe took over, and we saw it here and there, but then he became the interim head coach and he couldn't even really do his job as a offensive play guard. But we do got Colin, our buddy Colin in the Red App chat. We only say Red App. We can't say the actual names because we are live on TikTok, and apparently they punished you for saying the names of the other streaming platforms. But not to get too off topic, but I believe, I don't know if this is true, but Colin is our Minnesota guy. He is actually a Vikings fan, so he said JJ Skull when we're talking about JJ, and also say he's a Twins fan.
JJ's a wonderful guy, man. My daughter actually likes the Vikings because they're purple. So I've been following the Vikings a little bit. And of course, with JJ coming into the shop, it was like, how could you not like that guy? One of the nicest, most genuine dudes. Obviously, it'd be great if he was a Bear, but we have another great quarterback that we're happy about. So, you know, it'll be a fun, hopefully a good rivalry for years to come here.
Yeah, 100%. But he did just break Butler is going to the Suns and Beal is going to the Wolves.
Oh, snap. I missed that.
And Randall
man,
traded to the
NBA's getting shaken up the last couple of days, man.
Colin, you better be a source. You better source check that, because I don't know if well, I haven't got. I mean, I got all my stuff on Do Not Disturb. But besides the fact that's
man.
A little NBA breaking news. NBA is trying to get the attention on SportsCenter because they're a dying breed over there with the NFL season going on.
I was gonna say, man, that Luka trade definitely got everyone's attention. Wild to me that happened.
That was crazy.
You know, if I'm a Mavs fan, I don't know. At some point, you do want to shake things up, and you know, but Luka and LeBron and the Lakers, man, you know, that's I don't know. I didn't expect that.
Last. He might get traded too before the deadline. Maybe he wants to go back to the Cavs or something.
You never know, man, with the NBA. I mean, it's funny. People kept saying, like, you can't even do that trade in 2K. And I love the association in NBA 2K when I have time these days. And it's true. I don't know if that move would have been able to be done. So
yeah, that is
true. Yeah. I don't even think the game would do that. So,
and I don't know how much you follow the Bulls. We're not the biggest Bulls fans here, but I pay attention. And the NBA season doesn't start for me until April. But the Bulls did trade LaVine 2 years too late. But they did trade him, and we're getting pennies on the dollar for everything. But it seems like they might also be changing direction over there in that front office too, like the Bears are, with doing things they're not usually used to doing, because they could have made that trade a couple years ago, and now maybe we're officially tanking. Maybe Vooch gets traded, maybe Lonzo gets traded, so maybe Colby gets traded, so we'll see.
Yeah, sometimes you got to take a couple steps back, you know, to move forward. And I remember when they got Vooch, and it was like, oh man, it's our big three, and they could never just figure it out, right? Like there's definitely glimpses and flashes, but you know, maybe they could use Vooch better. I mean, like I see how bad in efficiency Denver is without Nikola Jokic on the floor. With them, they're like one of the top teams in the league in that stat. So it's like they need to definitely think about how they're using their current personnel. But in the meantime, break away and try some new things, because clearly that team isn't talented enough to get over the next step. And that's really what the NBA is, man. It's just like shuffling chairs until you have one of the few teams that can actually win a title. It feels it's not like it used to be when I grew up in the 90s. It's a much different league to watch. And I'm still a fan. I'm a sports fan, but I don't know. It's 3-point heavy. It's definitely different than it used to be. And maybe some teams might kind of go back to that a little bit, go to some big man bully ball and really just start to focus on that to kind of combat like what they're trying to do now in LA. But yeah, basketball is not my first sport, so it's fun to watch from afar.
Yeah, and ironically enough, Zach LaVine gets reunited with DeMar DeRozan, so the Kings fans will see how we felt the last couple of years. So.
Yeah, I like Fox with Wemby. I mean, down in San Antonio,
that is cool.
I think that's interesting.
I PC Wemby in terms of the hobby, I'm just kind of like excited to see him kind of blow up because the value of my car.
Oh, totally.
But not to get
he's amazing
just yet, but
no, but yeah, he's amazing.
What were some to kind of backtracking a little bit to the Bears and into the season? What were some of like your expectations heading into last season? And how did that kind of reflect towards the end of the season? Is there someone who disappointed you the most? Like, did you have high expectations for a certain player or the team? And also that kind of probably everyone disappointed us on that team last year. But.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like before the season started, like everybody was kind of like, whoa, is this the next Mahomes? Is this guy going to be the guy that just completely changes everything? Eventually reality kind of sets in, and it's one of those things. It's like, it's not just going to happen overnight. And I was telling you this a little bit. I'll share that story. I was at a wedding in Rhode Island, and I was talking to this guy who's he was a miserable Patriots fan at the moment. He just was not happy with the team and how they were doing. And I was like, yeah, they're not doing too well, but like, don't be fooled by what we have over here. Yeah, there's still a lot of shaking up that needs to happen here in Chicago before we're this dynasty. Like, he seemed to think it was just like everything's shooing locked in. And this is a couple days before the Washington game. So you can, I definitely followed up with a text on that guy and was like, see, man. And then the Patriots beat the Bears. And I was like, you see, man, it's just, I'm not going to get too ahead of myself when it comes to Chicago football. However, I also respect the fact that when I'm seeing progress and I'm seeing them try new things, I'm going to point that out as well. It's not the same old Bears. So like, where last year there might've been some of that inflated optimism. Maybe this year we should be a little more optimistic and we should get a little more excited. And, maybe they do take that jump and they're a 9-7 team or something. It's what's actually going to happen. We'll see. Everyone's got a plan, right? Until the season starts. But I do feel like, again, you get the right guys in here top down, you start to build from the interior. That's how it seemingly seems to be the recipe. You got to have a good head coach, got to have a good quarterback. You need a big time rush end. You need a shutdown corner. You need a playmaker so that the quarterback can get him the ball. But you need to protect all these assets. And there's a lot of good linemen in the draft too. So I think they can go a few different ways about it. If they can get that guy from the Chiefs, yeah, that'd be huge. And you can kind of build around him. But grab some of the guys from the Lions. The Lions. Who's the guy? Is it a returner? Was it Alexander Jr.? I can't. Sorry, I'm pulling that out. The Bears got recently, and he's like a great locker room guy. And I'm spacing on the name. But he's the type of guys like grab any guys from the Lions that want to come over. Honestly, like I know it's interdivision, but you got to get the guys that are on the winning side of the culture, and say, hey, come on over, show us how it's done. And so I'm all about that. If you got to keep the guys that want to be here, and to everyone else, they're going to have to learn, how to do it a different way once they get shipped out.
No, yeah, for sure. And I, like you said, try to be optimistic for this upcoming season. No, I'm telling myself I'm not getting excited. I do it every year, then I get my heart broken and disappointed. So I'm just going to slowly,
that's fair, man.
Until the free agency, until we sign people, until the draft, and then all this and that and the other, until we trade for somebody, and then I'm like, all right, Bears are back. But try not to drink the Kool-Aid as of right now, because I drank it very hard going into last season, and it was very disappointing mentally and emotionally. I couldn't even do it anymore. I was just giving up. I've never been at a lowest down point as a Bears fan in a while. So
Hey,
But
we're
yeah,
gonna we're gonna turn it around, man. They're gonna turn it around, and I love seeing the Bears do well. There's nothing like it. One of my favorite moments ever was that Hester return in the Super Bowl. Like I was with a buddy full of, basement full of buddies, and it's just like those memories. That the Cubs finally getting over the hump. Like, hey, man, to all the diehards, you deserve one. You deserve another Super Bowl shuffle moment, and it's coming. It's inevitable. How long we'll see, but hopefully it's this crop and this quarterback, and we'll see what happens. But I agree. Let's not get drunk on the Kool-Aid until then. Let's just take it day by day.
no, yeah, for sure. And how do you feel about so we're mentioning the trenches and stuff, and there's some people saying that we should get Ashan Genchi from Boise State there, that running back with that 10th pick. How would you feel if the Bears went running back instead of the trenches with that 10th? I think we have the 10th overall pick, right? So
Yeah. It's there's so many I've seen so many different takes on the mock draft and where you could go. Getting a running back in the first round, you got to get a Gibbs. Like you got to be so stone cold excited about it and just know like that Lions war room did. Like they were sure of their guy. And I know Genti's amazing. There is other areas I'd say they could address before getting him and still find some talent at running back. Will it be as explosive and will they be as talented as that guy? Probably not. But that does still mean you still have to address these other needs. You can't just neglect them. So if they can pick up some talent in free agency, and then there's a value, like I think that Arizona tackle, he's a beast, man. I think they're looking at him in the second if he could fall into them in the second. I don't know if that's possible. I feel like he's a first round talent. But anything like that, if you can get a couple big difference makers, obviously, like, I've seen some mocks with the Cam Scatabo guy from Arizona State. He seems like a hard nosed lunch pail Bears guy. But get some linemen in front of him, like it won't be done with the current line situation. So regardless of who you bring in, we saw that kind of, I feel like with Swift a little bit, it's just, you gotta give these guys some holes to run through. So, inside out. So I'd be going against what I'm saying. I would say, no, I'd say fade that pick and pick up a lineman. And I know it's not the sexy pick. And for every lineman, first round draft pick, you got Gabe Karemis of the past, that don't work out, but there's still hope here. You got to build from the inside out. That's what I'm all about right now, this move and heading into this season.
yeah, no, for sure. And I would be, unless there's somehow we address the whole line in free agency, which I doubt. You can't really do that. And also you want to get young talent on the O line, so you can't really do that in free agency either. But there's some speculation going on, and Khan in the Red App chat said Genti's gonna be a Viking. So we'll see. The big Vikings guy, and then we got Flex in the purple app. You mentioned you're more of a fantasy football player. Do you bet at all, or just pretty much fantasy?
I've been playing fantasy, man. It sounds like I sound like an old man, but literally since '99 on Yahoo with my dad, like Marshall Falk, Kurt Warner style. And I've just always have been a fantasy guy over betting. I do enjoy betting. I think there's a whole science behind it though, right? And checking all the books and seeing what their spreads are at and using algorithms to make informed decisions. I'm not at that point. I'm more of your, sitting on the couch, seeing the game, red zone's about to start. Hey, do I have enough fantasy action going today? Maybe I should throw $20 on this and make it even more interesting today. Casual, absolute casual. So I do enjoy it. But I'm not going to sit here and act like the house doesn't always win. It's like,
how'd you do in fantasy this year? Were you in any big leagues or?
Yeah. I was in two big leagues. I was in two $500 leagues. And
buy-in.
I don't know how long I'm going to be able to. Yeah, $500 buy-in.
Nice.
One of them is, and I should shout out my he's technically my stepbrother, but he's my brother, Jonathan. He runs a great league. It's 16-team league.
Wow.
$500 buy. We actually $600 buy-in this year. Trades cost money. Everything is dialed down to a science. This guy's got it. So you feel like you're a real NFL franchise. There's 4 divisions or 4 teams in each division. You have 4 divisions total. And I actually had a great year. We ended up paying for our buy-in by winning our division. We didn't make it to where we wanted to be ultimately, but I'm still happy with if we can pay for our buy-in and maybe subsidize another league it's a win for me. Like in the end, I always tell people with fantasy sports, like you get 18 plus weeks of entertainment. And if you count the off season and just divide that by the number of weeks, I mean, you can't beat it in terms of value if you truly, are going to spend the money anyway and gamble it or do
No,
whatever
yeah,
you
I
do.
have the
You
same
know?
philosophy because I'm in a $350 league with my buddies from high school. We always get someone, oh, it's too expensive, whatever. I was like, dude, you're gonna waste money at the bar and bet and losing your bets in week one, regardless. So if you divide it by 12 or
Yeah.
15 or whatever, how many weeks fantasy football is, it's essentially $15 of entertainment each week of cheering for overs. So
Exactly. And I have 2 kids, beautiful kids now. So I can't go to the bar, ever anyway. So this is my fun. I have every Sunday on my own GM. And that's what's awesome about fantasy sports. And I think why I got in so deep into cards as well, because, well, it's not your traditional investment. You do have elements of, hey, I bought this guy's card. I'm excited to hopefully see him score a few touchdowns this week, and that'll only increase his, profile, if you will.
no, 100%. And we'll get into the hobby in just a second. Before we segue that way, Super Bowl predictions: Chiefs, Eagles.
Man, like a lot of people, I had it wrong. It was funny, like you see all these people betting the dogs, Bills, Washington, as if Vegas doesn't know any better. And obviously on NFC side, it was just a beatdown. But you feel for Josh Allen, you feel for him not being able to get over the hump. I don't know. Now that we have it set, I would probably say um, probably Philly. I think with Saquon and just how dialed in that team is, I think it's going to be a super close game, probably like a 27-24. But in the end, I mean, that guy, I know how badly he wants it, man. And you just saw it when he was doing that run, hitting his helmet, like the passion. I can't help but root for him. I also played for the Elmhurst Eagles. So I've, worn the green before with the eagle on the helmet. And so respect. I got some family in the Philly area. So I'm going Philly. We'll see what ends up happening. Obviously, you don't bet against Mahomes and the Chiefs, so I'm going to stay neutral as far as money's concerned, and just try and enjoy the game. But I'm going to say Philly. I'll stand on it.
Oh, nice, nice. Yeah, they have a strong run game. Their defense is playing really well. They're playing on all cylinders. They got the wide receivers. They got all the talent on that team. But it's Patrick Mahomes, and I put money in the Chiefs this past week. I didn't. I'm in Bills country too. I'm in upstate New York, so
Sure.
and then I just didn't. I couldn't see the Bills. The NFL wants the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. They want the three-peat. They want Taylor Swift. They want.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Caitlin Clark in the box or whatnot with hanging out with the Taylor Swift. But it's gonna be a good game. I still haven't put my heavy bet in. I got a couple player props in so far. But I have a nice little bankroll balance from the NFL season this year, and I'm gonna try to maybe lay a little heavy one on one of the sides. And I don't know where I'm leaning just yet. I feel like the public
Sure.
is all over the Eagles, considering no one wants to see the Chiefs win. But I love watching greatness. I'm all
Sure.
supporting of watching Patrick Mahomes. If it's not the Bears in the Super Bowl, I'd rather see just the Chiefs keep winning because I never got to see Jordan play. I wasn't old enough. Didn't really
Yep.
appreciate the Brady era until it like towards the end. Like me and the Brady era is like how people feel about the Chiefs now. Like they don't want to see. I was like, oh, the Patriots again. But the way the Patriots play was kind of boring back then. They just ran the ball, convert first downs, check downs. Where Patrick Mahomes is a little bit, and Travis Kelsey, especially when they had Tyreek Hill, they were definitely more a little exciting than Brady. Down 28-3 against the Falcons and just screen passes to James White. So I didn't get to appreciate that era, but now that I'm watching Patrick Mahomes, I'm like, he can win as many Super Bowls as he wants. I get to witness the greatest quarterback to ever play the game. So,
That's super fair. Yeah, he's there, man. He's goaded already, and one more will just take him over. But I'm with you, man. I had to run through the whole Brady era. I saw Jordan firsthand. I mean, no one could touch him, and him leaving the game is about the only reason that Houston won too. So it's like you see the stuff and you think, hey, it's almost like we take it for granted, like it's gonna just stay around forever. But there will be a time the Chiefs run comes to an end, and I think most of us will look back and think, man, that was one of the greatest quarterbacks ever played the game. So yeah, I'm with you, man. Whatever happens, obviously, like I don't like the flopping stuff. I know that's been kind of people getting a little frustrated with Mahomes on that, but he's a gamer, man. He's competitive.
Just
You know,
throwing a
and a lot of
foul,
people
just like in basketball, you draw the foul.
exactly. And at the end of the day, man, people act like, you know, we have these camera angles that are split second and decisions that are being made. And it's like everyone can play armchair quarterback. Everyone can tell you how they would have done it differently. You know, in high school football, I would have done it this way. The reality is he's in a really intense moment. And we're talking game of inches. I mean, literally, like he could have thought he was a foot in front. I mean, so it's like I'm not going to sit here and beat him up over that. He's a gamer. He's competitive, and even if he knew exactly where he was at, he still did the move. To your point, it's hey, we're trying to get an edge. We're trying to win the game. And you know what I like though, when after the game, I'm pretty sure I saw a clip of him saying that was nonsense. That should have been a first down that Allen got. And it's like, so you can tell how much of a competitor he is because he's like, he doesn't want to win any certain type of way. He just wants to win.
Yeah.
So I respect that.
Oh yeah, 100%. And not that I have any financial investment in Patrick Mahomes winning another Super Bowl, I do have a few rookie cards I invested in over the last few weeks.
More than I have, man. Jeez.
So want to do a little bit of Bears trivia, and then we'll get into the hobby, and then hopefully have some time to rip something.
Okay.
The Bears trivia is nothing crazy.
Yes. All right, man.
But
we'll see how
the community will you did kind of full disclosure, you're not the biggest like diehard Bears fan, but they will chirp you in the comments a little bit if you miss some easy ones. We had a couple of guests miss some easy ones. Well,
it might happen.
Type answers in the comments.
Why can't I get those, man?
But
I already pulled out a Gabe Carimi, so I got some street cred.
Yeah, you mentioned Gabe Carimi. I'm like, okay.
Like I said, I've been around it for 30 plus years, but when you have so many things taking your attention, especially in a card store shop. Now I'm trying to like understand F1, WWE, UFC, Pokemon, One Piece. So it's like, and I have, like I said, 2 kids. So I have love for it all, man. Sometimes just where my attention is, I guess.
Let's do a little bit of quick Bears trivia.
Cool.
Who holds the franchise record for most sacks by a Chicago Bears player?
Man. It feels wrong. It feels like a trap, but I'm going to say Khalil Mack.
No, not for most career sacks by a Chicago Bears. He wasn't on the team long enough.
Oh, sorry. I thought it was single season. Man, that's a tough one. I don't know, man.
It's not that big of a trick question, just so you know, I'll give you a little hint.
Like, I don't know, man. I'll just go in the past with it. Go like Dick Butkus or something.
No. Richard Dent, 124.
Oh, Dent. I meant, yeah. Richard Dent. There you go. Boom. Stumped. Oh, my gosh. Put him over the flame. Richard Dent. Yes. Richard Dent, number 95. Right?
Second on the list was Steve McMichael, 92 and a half.
Mike. See, and that's the thing, man. I was born in 88. So you catch all these guys talking about those glory years, and then you'd see them like at autograph signings and what these guys meant to some of these people in that time in the mid 80s. It's undeniable, it's undeniable. For someone like me, grew up with Jim Miller. It's just, I just, let me tell you, man, that was a forgettable time. I wish I could have been a part of it when they were so good,
Yeah.
But it'll get back there.
Hopefully.
We'll get there.
You seem to be the draft expert of the Bears. You threw in a Gabe Carimi poll earlier, so we got a little draft question for you.
All right, man.
Who did the Bears select with the 8th overall pick in the 2018 draft?
2018. So Trubisky was 2017. Oh, 8th overall. Man, these are some good ones. Can you give me a hint?
Nah. That would be too. I don't even know what the hint I would be able to give without giving it away.
Just gotta shoot my shot, man. Man, I am blanking right now. I need some more coffee.
It was a defensive player. That's the hint I can give you.
Defensive player, 2018. Oh man,
no longer.
I'm blanking.
No longer on the team.
I'm not shocked by that at all.
But still, he's on another team.
He's probably pretty good. I don't know. I give, man. I submit.
Smith.
Oh, Roquan. Yes, Roquan Smith. Boom, goes the dynamite. Yeah, again, another one where it's like, what are you doing when you have what you need? You're looking for the stone cold linebacker. You have him from Georgia. Was he number 8? I always thought he's number 7. that year. I could be wrong.
8th overall. I mean, this segment is sponsored by ChatGPT, so we don't know.
Oh, dude.
Some of the answers I had to double check some, and they weren't even right. So I just always have to cross reference them.
I'm telling you, those AI models are not good for fantasy predictions. I've tried to use them, and they're all over the place. Yeah, Roquan, he's a beast, man. It's, again, too, like people talked about how we could have maybe got Jalen Carter, and it was like, yeah, man, that would have been good too. But like, revisionist history, man. That's why it's like it's all forward now with the Bears.
Yeah.
There's no looking back. You don't want to look back.
Last trivia question.
Give me a layup. Give me a layup.
I'm kidding. These are probably layups.
Yeah, I know.
This is another draft question. Maybe Roquan was just too soon for you.
Oh, dude, like I said, this is on some old hard drive, in the back there, but it's I've got so much data in my mind, particularly, like I said, mentioning the 10 different sports and the TCGs that we focus on at our shop. Like Bears history it got deleted, brother. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, this one should be easy. Who did the Bears select in the first round of the 2005 NFL draft?
Oh my goodness, man. This is 2005 first round. You said easy, man. Dude, this is not, I mean, maybe easy for someone like you dedicates his time to the Bears.
Maybe on the spot, it's not as easy, but.
Oh, dude, man. I'm like I said, I'm not the biggest Bears.
It's like the Super Bowl team. Like the next year was like the Super Bowl
team. Yes.
So
Hester. Was it Hester?
No, I'm trying to think what year Hester. No, it wasn't Hester. Hester wasn't that draft, but I don't think it was the first. It was Cedric Benson.
Yeah. Oh yeah, from Texas. Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm probably honestly better at that. Like if you say a player, what school they went to, like that's the stuff that
I can't tell you.
I don't know why,
unless it's a player.
Yeah, no, I remember Benson. Another guy we thought was going to be, 5-7 year, running back. Yeah, Thomas Jones, Virginia Tech. Like, you know what I mean? Like I liked him a lot too. So,
all right, enough of the Bears. Let's talk about the hobby.
Roasted, dude. Roasted.
Your bread and butter we'll talk about, and something I'm
getting. Cool. This is what I know and love now. So this is what I prefer to talk about. But I'm always happy to chat it up and rip it up on some Bears, man.
Yeah. I'm newer to the hobby. Kind of a little background story on how I got into the hobby. I started Bear Down and Beyond. Obviously we talk Bears and we do sports betting and stuff. And then my feed was just kind of people like ripping packs, chasing cards or whatever, like the chase cards. And for me, it's like an aspect of gambling, right? So I'm like, oh, all right, it'll be fun to kind of do some rips. And then you just like, we're degenerate gamblers on this page. So that's kind of how I got into the hobby. And then I just kind of get a little bit more serious into it. And especially during the off season, it's like 20% of our content. So we do Bears sports betting, live streams, a little bit gaming, and then the hobby. And I try not to overflow it on the channel. I might even make a separate page, sub channel Bear Down and Beyond, because I have like so much like me going to like my local grocery store looking for surging sparks. You know what I mean? Like it's just filler content, but I have so much of it that it's not becoming filler content anymore. But not everyone on the page is about the hobby, but people like it. People engage with it, especially the people that call me a scalper in some of my comments and a video I had because I found a prismatic restock and took advantage. But nonetheless, you mentioned that you opened the shop in 2021. From my understanding, that was like peak kind of not turnaround, but like peak revival of card collecting, whether it's TCG or sports cards. So if you want to just kind of talk about, from your perspective, the current state of the hobby right now, what caused that growth in, I believe it was 2020, and kind of what's the state of the hobby right now and your current thoughts on it?
Yeah, definitely. I actually got back into the hobby in 2018. I remember I ripped a Donruss basketball hobby pack, and I got like a Luka rated rookie. And I think at one point it was like $5 or $10, and then I looked at it again, and it was like 20x, and I was like, "Whoa, this is crazy. This hobby is wild." And it was way different than when I was a kid. As a kid, I'd go to my local LCS with my dad, and we would go. It's kind of dusty. There's no one talking. It's a little quiet and awkward maybe. And, I'd finally be able to make my decision, and I get my, one $20 card, or maybe I'd do a pack and a card. And that was just good times, spending times with my dad. And so like for me, that was my experience. And I'd go back to the neighborhood, I'd pull out a Beckett. We would try and trade. We try and, make decisions based off the pricing we got from this Beckett guide, which isn't updated, maybe once a month. And it's just completely changed now. So when I get back in the hobby, I'm searching for information. I'm trying to make sense of what's going on. There's different parallels now. There's serial numbered cards. there's not that these things weren't in existence before 2018, but it's just like it was like my mind was blown. It was just way different. I didn't know what parallel meant. I didn't know that there was like an out of 10 gold, and for one brand it's more unique than it is for the next brand. And this stuff just drew me in. And there's obviously a gamble element, but the hobby is so much bigger than that. You've got set collectors, you've got people that are just collecting specific types of cards. Like I have one guy who comes in the shop and all he cares about is offensive lineman autographs, but it has to be pack pulled cards. So he doesn't want like, a jersey of like any of the best linemen in the league, but he would love like a Quentin Nelson patch auto from a card, or the obscure third string guy that no one cares about. He still is picking that up because he finds it in the wild. So everyone's got their story, and I had my story. So when I got back in, again, couldn't really find my footing with any of the shops or anything. I said, hey, there's got to be a better way. So it took a few years, and I was kind of it was kind of coinciding with a sales career that was kind of ending for me anyway. And all of a sudden, went for it, started the shop. It was a crazy time. It was very difficult to get product. But the nice part is there was a lot of activity and excitement. So kind of found my footing with the shop. It took a few years. We really built a great community. There were some highs and some lows. Right now, where the hobby's at, and the type of companies that have come into the industry, like Fanatics, who are fully integrated with sports apparel, sports betting, of course, and then of course everything that they're doing now with cards after buying Tops. They're blowing it up with marketing. They're getting innovative. Things that like people couldn't even fathom happening are going to be potential on this timeline we're on. Think about pulling a card, Sam, out of a pack, and it says, do a layup line with Steph Curry at the next game. Like, again, that's probably like jumping a few of the things, but imagine some of the things they can do with experiences and to literally make people's life. Yeah, it's something I'm excited for, to see that type of innovation. Because you imagine like, hey, like break a huddle with the Bears, and then you just got to run off the field or something. Like, I'm sure they could make so many different things happen with their connections. And other companies have had the same licenses before, but when you marry all those advantages they have, with the players now thinking cards are cooler. Mike Trout collects, Giannis Antetokounmpo collects. It's an exciting time. Like I like to say, like, things have kind of leveled out, like where there's not some of the crazy boxes. I mean, they're still there, but in our shop, like, the revenues have flattened out in terms of like the range. It's like that 20 to $100 now, instead of such a large window of 20 to like 1,000. And now though, we're seeing more activity though than we did when we started. So it's like the perfect things have happened where, there's more and more collectors coming into the space each day, but it's more affordable. It's more approachable. And education and content around that is never been greater. So it's like, whether you're coming to my shop and you learn firsthand from us, or you're going to watch some content on YouTube, like, you can learn a lot easier than you could even learn when I got back in 2018. So I'm super geeked to be a part of this industry, and try to get more people, because for every sports fan, there's a card collector there waiting. Because there's people that did this as a kid for the nostalgia, and then there's people that are like, wait a second, I like fantasy sports, I like the Bears. Why am I not collecting like a Cole Kmet rainbow? What is a Cole Kmet rainbow? Like, these are the things you start to go down these rabbit holes, and I'll see you at the shop.
Oh yeah, 100%. You mentioned the card collecting side of it. Can you kind of talk about the card investing side of it? A lot of people are, I mean, I guess true collectors probably aren't the biggest fans of it, but there's always a dollar sign for everything that people are involved in. And for the card investing side of things, for a quick flip, or buying at 80% comps and bringing it somewhere else, flipping it on eBay. Can you kind of mention that side of things? And I guess for you, in order to put food on your table, you have to think about this side of the things. If you collected and PC'd everything that came in your shop, you wouldn't be able to feed the family. So for me, it's not. No. I like the aspect of collecting, but if you start collecting too much, then you don't have any money in your pocket. And me, as the entrepreneur side of things, I've been in startups and entrepreneurship since college, if not even before that, like with little reselling video games and stuff like that as a kid. But sure. For me, like, there's the big kind of interest is the finance side of things. Don't get me wrong, I love to PC a couple things, especially when I rip a Sylvia on EX. That's $570. But Can
Yeah.
you talk about a little bit about the investing side of things?
For sure, man. I mean, I'll have people that come from real investment backgrounds and want to understand it. And I always kind of preface it by saying, like, invest in Nvidia if you really want to invest, or like I'm just throwing out a random stock there, but like, there's a lot of places to put your capital. Inevitably, though, if you want to marry your passions with what you perceive to be your domain knowledge and all these things kind of can intermesh, and then you take it upon yourself to learn and understand the card market, you can have a better outcome than the next person. But even me, man, it's still something that, like to your point, I can't sit on cards and project they're going to do well. And if I have like 20 Dorian Thompson Robinson autos, because I have 5 Jordan Travis cards, and it's like, those are 2 where I literally should have just put money back into inventory for the shop, right? Instead of sitting there speculating. But that's what some people do. They'll get, 10 of the next quarterbacks and try and get ahead of it and think, hey, where's the puck going? Like Gretzky. And it's easier said than done because everyone is trying to do that same thing. So it's like you look at quarterbacks, just for instance, because they drive kind of the football market, if you will. Literally, like there's going to be only so many available quarterbacks you can quote unquote invest in. All these products have to come out at a certain point. They have to be released into the secondary market. Then you can decide, hey, I'm not going to go rip this product maybe to get this quarterback, but I'm going to try and buy singles on eBay. But just while you're doing that, there's 20 other people who thought the same thing. And they're investing in DTR. They're investing in Jordan Travis. So not only do you have to get ahead of everything and quote unquote invest, you got to also make your moves just as quick as anybody else, but then you got to be right about it. So, a lot of people try not to prospect. But I know a lot of people that do that in baseball and football. And there's people that'll put money into an 18-year-old baseball prospect and hope that he becomes the next Juan Soto. Anything can happen. But so long as you keep it front and center, it starts as a hobby and then there's a business around it, right? There's people that are treat like a business like me, right? Where I'm like, I have cases, I need to turn over inventory, I need to try to put these at competitive prices so they move. I might be under comps on that one and that one I'm at comps. I'm looking at it more just objectively, whereas the next person might be collecting, they might be PCing, or they might have this fun thing they're doing with, investing in something that they perceive to be an advantage. They have an edge over the crowd. But it's difficult. It's just like sports betting. Like, it's like, you're not just going to walk in and understand every nuance of the industry, particularly because, again, cards, that's not the main focus, not the main main driver. There's people that have come in, hey, I want to buy every Ohtani card. I don't care. I've got money. I'm investing Ohtani. And it's like that first conversation I'll usually have with someone like that is like, pump it back a little bit, like, let me explain to you about his different cards he has. Let me explain to you about some of the products that might be coming out, what you're seeing in marketing versus maybe some of the cards that other people have bought or put money into, and trying to understand it a little more holistically about the card market before you just buy the first 100 cards you see just because it has the name. Because one of the most common calls we get at our shop, it'll be like, ring, hey, how's it going? Are you guys buying? It depends what you have, right? Tell me a little bit about it. Well, I got Michael Jordan, I got Larry Bird, I got Magic Johnson. I'm like, okay. I explained to them there was a time where they overprinted cards a bit in the early 90s, late 80s. And it's like, I know most of the time people calling with Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson are usually not talking about Michael Jordan's Fleer 86 rookie or Larry Bird rookie. They're usually talking about 1990 hoops with the gray border because everyone had that in their sets, man. And then I got to explain to them Sam Vincent, and Mark Jackson are actually the most expensive cards from that set. And that just goes down a whole nother rabbit hole.
Those 2 brothers that was on the Netflix murder,
yeah,
right?
That's the Jackson card. Yeah. And, with the Sam Vincent has Jordan in the background with number 12. And that's because like his jersey got stolen that night. So like those cards got to unreasonable, like $10, $20 levels. And they're like $5 cards now. Yeah. But that whole set is abundant, man. You can so it's like, it's the names matter, but they matter way less than the actual card. Just like in anything, you got to know kind of what you're buying and understand it. That's why, again, I think we provide a great service to the public through education.
We got Bear Crowns in the Red App chat saying mad respect for Mark, to Mark for putting a smile on the kids for bringing in Cole Kmet. So we were just talking about that. Appreciate you tuning in. What's going on, Bear Crowns?
Thank you, Bear.
Love and support. we're just talking about the hobby right now. We just got done talking about the Bears. If you guys are just tuning in, do you? So I appreciate that perspective, by the way. Do you collect at all? And if so, like who do you PC and then we can kind of talk about like which sport I guess you PC or
Yeah,
enjoyed the most.
for sure. Like most kids in the 90s, I had like an MJ binder, Respect Greatness. I think it was like 50 some odd Michael Jordans, most of them common cards. And I ended up selling them one day, always regretted it. And I think that was a big driving force, like getting back into saying, I'm going to rebuild my Jordan binder. But I come to find out most of them were just commons. So, we sell these, in the shop and give other people a chance to buy these Jordans. For me though, when I got in, I kind of looked at each sport and was like, I would like to get one, home run prospect I can kind of follow, similar to fantasy in my dynasty leagues I'm in for baseball. Like I want to be able to look at a box score of a random single A game in the middle of nowhere and just get excitement from that box score. So 2 guys in baseball I collect. One guy's name is Petey Halpin. He's double A with the Akron Rubber Ducks. How'd I find out about him again? I learned about the Bowman market and started seeing breaks. And I was kind of trying to buy his cards off eBay that I thought were undervalued. Probably paid way more than I should have again, where you have to learn a lot about this hobby. And there's lessons on lessons because again, if it were that easy, everyone would do it.
Yeah.
But the reality is, I have a nice Petey Halpin collection. Love chasing him and watching him and his box scores and just seeing good games, build on good games. And again, he might be selling insurance in 6 years. I don't know. And his cards will be worthless. Or he could be a mainstay in some lineup and maybe I break even. There's not even a baseball prospect has got to be one of the hardest things you can do because it's really your trajectory is so far out and there's so many things that need to happen. But the idea is like get some of his good cards. So I have some of his good cards. Another guy is more of a big time home run prospect named George Wolko with the White Sox organization. He's 6'7", 230, power hitter profile, but kind of like a Judge. Aaron Judge plays outfield, 10 stolen bags. But he's a local guy from where our shop is. So immediately when I saw him in Bowman, I was like, I want to get some of his best cards. I would love to follow his career. And he's been a joy to watch and get to know. As far as basketball, I have a fun one. It's Keon Johnson. He actually was a first-round bust in 2021, got traded a few times. That was in the G League, and that's when I started buying his cards. I really liked that he had the highest vertical in NBA history, and he's an athletic guard from Tennessee, but he's so young. He still would have been like a senior last year or something like that. So for him to kind of now make the jump up to Brooklyn, he's starting for them. They're kind of in a tank season. It's been cool, though, to kind of see the jumps. I mentioned Dorian Thompson-Robinson. NFL is so hard, man, to collect. It really is. But
Is that
beyond like
the
my
cards are just so high right now? Is that like the top sport you would say in the
that's
sports
it,
side of the
man.
hobby?
That's it. It's so hard to collect. It's so expensive. Even if you get a guy who's on the outskirts, like it's not going to happen. Everyone's expensive. It's all priced in, and it's not as fun. It's actually a little more scary than say baseball, which is kind of like, hey, he struck out 4 times. Like, oh well, it's Wednesday. It's like everything leads up to that one game. And I mean, there's so much on the line. And like, even like last year, I remember DTR came in against the Ravens and it was like, man, if he has a big game, this is going to be great. And it was like, oh my goodness, that's the Baltimore Ravens for you. And so for me, I'm not as big as speculating on football. I don't really enjoy it. I like baseball. And that's what I collect. That's what I enjoy. I do have a couple long-term pieces for my kids that I've been able to accumulate. Like my biggest piece I'd say is I have a press pass 96 Kobe Bryant rookie, and it's an on-card auto. So he's in his Lower Merion jersey, and it's just an all-time piece for me. My daughter's name is Lucy, so I also have a Luka Doncic auto where it says Lulu, which is what I call her, which I'm sure appreciated in value, but I'm not selling it. And then beyond that, I collect Pokemon with my daughter Lucy. So since she's been a little girl, I've been ripping packs. And now I feel like she's finally turning this prismatic set. Actually, she was like, "Let's get the Umbreon." I'm like, "Whoa! Like you're into it now."
Yeah, she saw like it's $2,000 on a TCG player or something.
I think she saw the Ring of Crystals and got mesmerized by it. No, I mean it's awesome. So now that's taken on a new evolution. I'm excited to keep building her
No pun
Pokemon set. Exactly. one smart thing I did though, because it's always fun to open a product, but to your point, some of this stuff is really hard to find, even for shops like mine. We had our allocations cut from Prismatic Evolutions. I actually found a binder, a vintage binder, in the wild. And someone came in, and I was like, you know what? We already have a good amount of vintage cards in our case, and this is a near complete vintage set. So I actually ended up
Of
gifting it to
Pokemon?
my daughter. Yeah,
Nice.
Pokemon. So it's missing the Charizard, it's missing like the Blastoise and Venusaur, but it's like it's a fun hunt for us to now go chase, and probably a smarter chase than like Doman Prismatic Evolution ETBs. That's just that's a whole different game. But this is fun, and that's where I do point that to people getting in the hobby. It's like focus on what you like, and you can never lose.
Yeah.
If you get too far off that and you're chasing a little bit, that's why there's a DraftKings app, right? That's why there's like all these other things out there. This is a great hobby, and there's so much to love about it. So hopefully I've conveyed that pretty well. So
No, you did, and we'll transition to TCG Pokemon here in a second, but we got Bear Crown's asking, is Mark ever going to put a store in Lake County? Lake County. And I appreciate you sharing. I thought that was you.
I would love that, man. I would absolutely love that. Any way we can bring our small little store experience to other areas in Illinois, absolutely. And even beyond one day, that'd be amazing. Hopefully with the right financial partner, we can do a lot more damage out there. But for us, it's just in our contained little community in Downers Grove, which is a city that I live in and absolutely love. That's where we're at. That's where we'll be. And any other developments, I will definitely let everyone know. But for now, we're very happy, and we couldn't see it any other way but in Downers Grove. So,
and for a little, I have it on our agenda somewhere here, but just since we're on the topic of your shop, just a little plug I can also clip is: do you guys have any trade nights or shows that you guys host, anything like that people can be aware of if they're watching, or what? Most of the engagement will be when I clip it, but.
Definitely. So markscardshop.com. If you scroll down, you could hit join mailing list. And we send out about one email per month. And every other month we do a Pokemon sport trade marathon on a Friday. And it'll start at like 3:30 and it goes up till 9 p.m. All the details would be in our newsletter. But we did about 36 straight trade nights over the course of 3 years. We finally have moved it to every other month. But it's been special building community through the trade nights, because it's not just kids or adults, it's to everyone. And it's like, so some of the adults are sitting there, they know the vibe, they're there to teach, they're there to show them, hey, this is what vintage cards look like. And for the kids, they know, hey, I can learn a little bit here, but also like Mark's gonna throw out a free pack for sure, there's gonna be pizza. So it's fun, it's a lot of fun.
No, yeah, I see a lot of your clips do pack battles and stuff. I don't know if those are, I think they're just like midday people coming into the store for the most part, but
that's it most of the time.
see you always doing pack battles and stuff. Do you ever collab with like other shops? Like I feel like on my feed I have like 312 cards, and then mint memorabilia. I know Shy is Bear Crown's Shy Collector. He's his different name in another platform, but is got some friends with the mint memorabilia, which I think mostly just like online breaks and stuff like that. Do you ever do collabs with other shops, or you guys can do like one big kind of huge trade night or something like that? Or are they kind of too far on the other side of the state and whatnot?
Some of it's just logistics,
Yeah.
but yeah, there's a ton of great shops in Illinois, man. And Tops hosts this hobby rip night thing. I think the next one's coming up February 22nd. So, the next one, we want to be a part of that. And all the shops then, in conjunction, do a trade night across the US. And so there's definitely more synergies that need to be explored. But, we have a ton of people that come in that have their own channels on different platforms and want to just say, hey, let's do a quick rip video, or like, hey, I'm gonna go check out the Mark's Card Shop. But we could always do more with other shops. I think the greatest thing we do is like we'll sponsor different card shows. There's a great show, 300 table show just this past weekend, and myself and a few other of the local shops were helping with that, sponsoring that. So, it's the biggest thing, boots on the ground, any way we can get involved with other shops, we're always down to.
Cool. Yeah, let's talk about TCG a little bit, specifically Pokemon, and that's obviously been a huge craze. I feel like the market's so volatile, and I feel like I've been veteran in the industry saying that, but I really just kind of joined recently. But yeah, kind of like when I'm comping, and just from what I'm hearing with individuals who are more seasoned like you, and a buddy that's been in the hobby, he does it full time for a living. Pokemon, it's going crazy. The state of it is wild. You mentioned Prismatic Evolution. You mentioned your daughter's really high into collecting it. Let's talk about the current state of Pokemon and like how that market is just going crazy.
Yeah, it's been wild. I always tell people when they're like, Pokemon, like, what should we look into? What should we collect? I always obviously point to the same thing, like, you got to collect what you like. But I think it's unique to think just 30 years ago is pretty much vintage Pokemon. When we talk vintage baseball, we're talking 75 years ago. So we are still in a very unique time where, like, I remember ripping $3 booster packs of Pokemon that now go for $200. Um, so, I will see some people rip a pack and they're like, "Oh, I didn't get anything." And I was like, "Well, there's a hollow, there's a reverse hollow." It's like we don't really, what did we get though? Like, what did we actually get? Because I'm looking at some hollows from early 2000s that now have some value to them. And now, so it's like in time, again, it all depends on what's been printed and all that. I'm not saying it's a guarantee, but hold your cards. Every card has a place and every card has a home. And in the end, some of these cards, whether it be reverse hollows, might be a little overprinted, but at the same token, like I see some of these cards from the early 2000s, late 2000s, and it's like, man, those have really appreciated compared to what they probably used to be looked at. Like, because again, I used to rip a $3 booster pack. So things change in time. And, now what we're seeing is like, I don't want to say artificial craze because, a part of it's like they didn't release enough, so it's like, what the heck? I come to expect a certain amount of allocation, every time there's a new release. And it's like, that's odd. We got cut in half. Like, why? And now I'm seeing, I'm hearing it's a little more abundant out there in retail. Who knows? At the end of the day, we're always going to try to have the right products for our community and customer base. And sometimes, though, it's just not available. There's not, just something we can't get, or it's just not feasible. It doesn't make sense to. But Prismatic and then a lot of other sets this year are getting properly hyped up. I know Journey Together is the next one. Yeah, you have a 30th anniversary eventually coming here. So it's an exciting time in Pokemon. Again, there's a million ways to slice the cake. I would say if I had number one piece of advice of Pokemon, I say try and build a vintage binder. Like we have vintage base cards at our shop for $1 flat, and usually we have some type of random sale going on. So like you could start to build a full base set minus the hollows, and get in super cheap compared to, trying to, and you could probably even do it cheaper if you find them online and don't care as much about condition. There's so many ways to do this. And so just kind of outfitting people with the different ideas. That's my job,
Yeah. We got Sullivan in the TikTok chat saying, I just got this $100 football pack and I got a rookie Mahomes worth roughly 10K. I don't know what pack that would be, but good for you, Sullivan. Way to get.
Yeah, $100 pack. What? Yeah, well, I'll take one. No, I mean that could have been like Donruss retail pack. I mean, he has like to put it in perspective, like an optic mega box from Mahomes rookie year. You probably could have found that at Walmart for $50 on the shelf, $40, whatever, plus tax. And now it's 700.
That's why I'm trying to hold like, someone like I was talking with you before, like the Prism retail, like because you never know where Jaden or Drake or whoever may like go, and then those boxes are going to be worth.
You never know, man. But there was the same people. Then we had 2018. We almost got spoiled, right? Because it was like Mahomes, and then and a lot of people again were high on Trubisky, right? There was a lot of people that were pushing his cards. But then 2018, Trey Lance. But 2018 we had Lamar and Josh Allen. But then people forget 2019 we had Kyler, and that was pretty much it. Daniel Jones. So that class, like if you're holding 2019 wax, it stayed completely flat, right? 2020 was a huge year for quarterbacks, but even then, people again living off this. Oh, Mahomes card sold for $1 million, so Justin Herbert has to be worth that now, and it's kind of like, no, that's not how it works. Even Jalen Hurts right now, they're saying like as far as positional groups, that's the worst position group on the Eagles. Like 2 years ago, he was the man. So it's like everything changes. And 2021 is a great example. You brought up Trey Lance, like that class. Everyone was like, bookmark it. This is the 2020 class on roids. Like, no, it was not. Maybe Trevor Lawrence, right? Maybe Justin Fields. I don't know, man. That class is not looking great. But this most recent class is interesting. And again, someone's going to be right. Whether it was people that bought in early on Jaden, again, how early? Because frankly, there's not really a discount you can get from these guys once they're out there. It's like there's only so many cards, and
even before they play a game, like
that's it. There's not a ton of supply.
It's not until during the season, from kind of what I'm observing, because I observed the the dollar signs. I mean, that's just kind of how I got
Sure.
into the hobby, whether it's for better or worse. But I like the financial kind of chase of these
Sure.
things, and it's not really until the middle of the season when they're kind of dying down, like well, not dying down, but like how they're playing impacts the actual value of the card.
And it's tough to figure out who's going to be hot at what time and how you sell it. And to the guy who bought 100 Tyson Badgett autos, like, good on you. You can go sell them for a little more when he gets hot, right? But
Yeah,
like the reality is, even when he was hot, there was a few outlier sales. Like, what? Someone just paid $40 for a base auto of this guy, and it's like, how many people are really going to do that? How many people do you even really want to sell a card that high that you know? But at the time, I know people are sitting there thinking he's the next big thing, just because he found, a little bit of magic one week. So it's how it goes, man. You got to kind of keep a level head. Don't get too high, don't get too low. Whether you're approaching it as a hobby or as you're approaching it from a more financial perspective, like, there are so many opportunities, but in particular football is probably the most risky you could get. It's very risky.
yeah.
Fun. But that's another point you made, though, is you bought the box. So you're not sitting there collecting a bunch of, one particular guy. You're sitting there investing in the class. And so in a certain way,
For that
when you
particular
do that,
example, I guess. For that particular
yeah.
example, with Pokemon, I, and also in any case, you say you lose less money if you don't open any product, really.
Oh,
And
yeah,
then
for
Pokemon, if
sure.
it's sealed, like I'm thinking, I wish I kept all my stuff sealed when I was a kid. Like I found my collections of Pokemon. I did a video on it, a vlog. I went to the sports store I used to work at in college, and I found my Pokemon soccer, football, and basketball cards. Basketball, football didn't have anything. My Pokemon had some hits, not like a Charizard or anything crazy, but in my cards and the soccer cards, because I'm Brazilian and play soccer my whole life, I have a rookie Leonardo 2006 Messi rookie card, and raw it's like 500. If it gets graded at 10, it's like 2,500. So I do have a whole
Let's
stack of cards
go.
I need to get sent to graded. I got to make a video on that, but yeah. So
Well, we do grading. So if you ever need to send us that box, we can package it up, get it to PSA, or you could just send it to PSA directly.
yeah, I'm trying to do
There's
like
a
a
lot of ways to
how-to
do it.
video. I gotta hold. That's what the content holds me back. The content's always a priority, but like I gotta get
Sure.
that Sylveon sent out and whatnot. But
That's a beautiful card, man. That's probably the second best card in the whole
I
set,
think
I
it's
would
like
say,
not to
right?
get onto the number side of things, but I think it's like
Yeah,
I was talking about Pokemon and sealed. Like it's I wish I kept my. That's why I was going to the childhood collection. Like I wish I kept my stuff sealed. Half the time because like it's just Pokemon is just going up, and from what I'm noticing, it's just like people are having nostalgia in terms of why the crate like the Pokemon's going up. People have nostalgia. The 151 kind of brought back some nostalgia from like people that from the 90s, kids in the 90s and stuff like that. So I just have a pile of sealed stuff. Like if I just put in a tote 20 years from now, like it was probably worth 10x, and I'm not buying it, I'm buying it at retail, some of the stuff I'm finding. So
oh
um
yeah. I mean, Pokemon's it's a fantastic piece of IP. Not a lot of people realize, Star Wars and
preaching
Harry
that Lord
Potter. I
day.
mean, it eclipses those two. It's big time, man. It's worldwide. There's apparel, there's TV rights, movie rights, there's video games, there's trading cards. Um, and we're 30 years out from its inception. So there's it's a fantastic community to be a part of. But from the collector's point of view, you know, that's where, hey, go build that base set, go
Yeah.
build it card by card, get a ton of joy out of it. Buying a pack right now from that era, not the smartest thing to do.
Yeah, someone at the card
Yeah,
show had the first edition, the Fossil one with Aerodactyl on it. He's 400 bucks
wow.
a pack.
Yeah,
But
man, that's
they track like how many hits or whatever these guys. So he's like, yeah, there's 35 or whatever. Well, he's like, not 35. I'm looking at Oscar. I appreciate those gifts on TikTok, man. I appreciate the love and support. How you doing, bro? He already had like 3 hollows hit or whatever, but not like a Charizard. So he'd like tell you how much was already coming
sure.
out of the box or whatnot. But
I just can't think of Logan Paul. I can't stop thinking of the Logan Paul fiasco
I
where
think that
he
also
pulled
had an
out that.
impact like on Pokemon like coming up too, because that was
Oh
like a
yeah,
few years before that the whole hype. But Bear Crowns in the chat is saying oh well, Football Goat says he's got a signed Keon Coleman card, and then Bear Crowns like, what are your thoughts on
okay.
memorabilia, jersey, and helmets? Do you get into that at all, Mark, in terms of the memorabilia side of things?
I definitely have some experience with the helmets and memorabilia and jerseys. We do have some products in shop. They're called Leaf Mystery jerseys. They make a really good mystery jersey product. So we bought a few cases of that, and people seem to enjoy them. It's not a huge part of our business. The challenge with any memorabilia, one, particularly if you're buying it from people, it has to be authenticated. People bring in stuff all the time. Oh no, I was at Bob Rohrman's in '86, and it's a Richard Dent. I swear, I met. Here's a picture. And it's like, I understand, but like, we're not here to sell that story. There's a whole aftermarket of authentication that people need to see when it comes to helmets and jerseys. Now, let's say that's not the issue, and it is authenticated. It's got the proper authentication. The challenge then becomes space. For someone's man cave, to have all their best favorite Bear jerseys on the wall, their Forte, their Briggs, their whoever, their Urlacher. This is where this stuff is important to them. They have the space for it. For a shop, it does become a challenge if you don't have a ton of space like we do, 650 square feet. Boy, I wish we had a whole helmet wall and jersey wall, but it's just not feasible for us. But I think it's a fun thing. I think it's visually very appealing. And that's why, companies like Fanatics are doing cards, but then they're also doing the apparel, particularly mystery jerseys and mystery helmets. And so it's a big market, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, it's definitely exciting.
No, yeah, I got these all signed personally. I need none of the stuff I bought except that Briggs jersey. I bought it for my buddy. He won one of those mystery things, but that I got signed at training. I used to go to the training camps in Bourbonnais when I was a kid. We would drive from New York, or Soldier Field used to host in the off season like the Chicago Bears Expo, and at Soldier Field, and I would go, and you get like a scratch off. Fun story, you get like these scratch offs, right? And it tells you what person you get the autograph. And a lot of them, all due respect, were like the 6th round draft picks or whatever, but you could hit like the jackpot. Probably also where some of my degenerate gambling started. You could hit like the jackpot of like getting Cutler or like Lance Briggs or whatever, right? And then like I would got some like 6th round draft pick. I was like, nah, I'm not going. But they didn't check the scratch off till you got to the door where you meet the people. So I was like acting dumb. I was like, Dad, come with me. I'm like 10 years old or whatever. And so we waited an hour and a half, 2 hours in line to meet Devin Hester or Matt Forte, right? And like, oh, this is the wrong scratch. I was like, oh, I didn't know. You didn't tell us. I've just waited 2 hours in line. You can't tell a kid he can't go see Matt Forte now.
Right.
So he definitely finessed the system there.
Let's go.
And then Colin says he's got a Warrior signed poster signed by Katie, Steph, and Clay, 2018, 2019. You gotta make sure you get that laminated, Colin. And a
definitely
Timberwolves poster signed by Ant, because he is from Minnesota. But yeah, Scooter was good. Scooter, we got Scooter on the Purple app. Let's talk about.
And one last thing to your point though about some pieces that are for your personal collection. Those are the ones where it really doesn't matter if they're authenticated if you went and got them yourself.
Like, these are memories from with my father. Like I'm never gonna sell those anyways. I know I got them signed. Like I got a Hester not poster, but a Hester maybe 12 by 20 like image of him returning the Super Bowl back. Like I got some from the Super Bowl. I got some mini helmets and stuff, footballs, Urlacher or whatever. I'll never sell those. Those are like childhood memories of my father. He drove 14 hours to Bourbonnais. Taking showers at the local pilot halfway through and crashing on the thruway.
Pretty sure they're real. Yeah.
Not crashing on the thruway, but sleeping on the thruway. You know what I mean?
Sure.
How much time do you got, Mark?
Oh, whenever you need me for, my man.
No, not whenever. I want to be kind of. You got family. I know it's a day off. But
I slotted 90 minutes, so I mean, at least got to riff a little bit more here. So I mean, I could go over though. Doesn't matter to me.
No, the reason why I'm asking, we got to rip something staring me in my face, but I just want to talk about quickly some hobby best practices. I'm gonna clip this if there's anyone watching right now that is not even involved in the hobby. When we say the hobby, we meant sports card, TCG card collecting. I'm not a veteran. I will let Mark kind of say the terms, but I want to talk about a couple of best practices. I want to clip it for anyone that's like following I'm on channels and like maybe they're interested, but they're not, or maybe they already know and they don't know. And then Barrett Crown says he's got way too much memorabilia. He went from card collecting to memorabilia. He couldn't keep up with the Pokemon and the NFL fake craze that's going on right now. But for hobby best practices, like if you're trying to get it, let's talk about sports cards and we'll kind of high level it after. But for sports cards, like trying to get into football or NBA, like that's maybe more kind of our gist. I'm not too much I'm not a big baseball guy, but for those of you who, whether it's baseball or NBA or NFL, what's like the best product? Maybe in the retail side of things, hobby could get expensive. You don't want to just jump into $1,000 hobby box, but what is the best product at the best value that maybe someone can start, whether it's NFL or NBA? And I know it probably varies per sport.
Sure.
Maybe one that maybe has the highest ceilings. And maybe we're just talking retail, but if you do have some hobby ones you want to plug in there, maybe we could do that also.
Yeah. Well, and again, it's a really interesting time with Topps Fanatic coming in, taking the licenses from Panini. I mean, literally, this is all happening at the end of this year and into next year, and they're going to be running the show with the major licenses. So, how things change from now until then is going to be super interesting. One promotion I love that Topps did was in Big League, which is a traditionally like a kid product, no upside, quote unquote, but it had a fun little promotion where it was like you pull a Mike Trout Instagram follow back card, and he has to follow you on Instagram, and it's like so it made it a lot of fun. Then they put some influencers from the card hobby in this products, and like so there's so many things they could take and do to really liven and sprucing up some of maybe some existing brands that don't typically have that fun chase. But otherwise, you stick with your blue bloods, your Topps Chrome for baseball. They're going to come out with Topps Chrome football. And again, it'll be unlicensed at first part, meaning it won't have the logos on the helmets and the jerseys. But once they get the licenses, it's going to be just like Topps Chrome football was before. Um, I love NBA hoops. That's a Panini product that just came out. We're in just over I think it's like $150 for a hobby box, but you get a guaranteed autograph. You're going to get 24 packs. You're going to have multiple chances to get serial numbered cards, and you get a lot of bulk with it. You're not just getting 3 cards and like it's over. And that's really how you got to break things down. How many cards are in the box? If you want, you go check how the singles are reselling in the secondary market. And these are how you kind of build a profile. I always tell people, like, take a picture of my wall, go on YouTube and see other people open these boxes. Why open it first and see what's in there first through your own,
I do that when I'm
lens.
doing cardio on the Stairmaster. I just watch people rip like a box, so it gets me done faster. But also, maybe I shouldn't get that.
But yeah, it's like you're kind of like, I don't need Panini Black this year. It's got 5 cards, and Jaden Daniels didn't sign, and this guy didn't sign, Caleb Williams. So it's like, why would I get an autograph mem product if 3 of the guys I want in there aren't even in there? But we saw a lot of good stuff was with say Prism. They had Jaden Daniels. It wasn't going to be his autograph, but there was still a great chase for his base rookie cards, his silver rookie cards, and knowing the little nuance between silver and base. I mean, that's how you really start to understand the products better and their quote unquote upside. I love hoops though, because it's a real, like, we had a lot of people asking me about hoops and like, when's it going to release? When's it going to release? And that's finally released. Topps is still putting out some stuff with Wembanyama in it. So it's your last kind of chance to get into some products. Again, maybe you don't buy the product, but you buy the single on the secondary market, however you want to do it. But that's another big source of conversation. Like, what's his true rookie card? Is it, the Prism Black 1 of 1? Is it one of his other cards from Panini? Or is it one of these Topps autographs, since they have the autographs? Which is the one you want? This is kind of the fun kind of discussion that keeps people, keeps the banter alive. So there's a ton of great products from both companies though, but I'd say keep your eyes firmly on Topps and what they're doing next and what their new innovations will be, because they're going to be the market leader with the licenses and their connections to sport athletes. And it's just going to make it go way more mainstream than we've ever seen before.
Awesome. And then some apps or sites, if you're looking to comp, like let's say someone's like either trying to do some quick flips or trying to get into the hobby, and they go to a card shop and want to see if that card shop is doing fair on market price and comps. Do you have any particular apps or sites you would recommend to people, whether that's sports, TCG, slabs, or both?
For sure. Like, if you just have a phone, you could download an app like Ludex, Ludex.
That's a Chicago app, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Get in their DMs to have them sponsor some of my card content. So if you know an in over there, let me know.
I do. We'll talk offline.
Yeah.
They have millions and millions and millions of cards in their database, and they're just, taking all those card images that are coming in from their user base and just making their database more and more robust. And I love Ludex. It works great. You think it's so easy. It's so hard to figure these things out with all the different parallels and all the different little nuances in the cards. To really get a good image recognition app is tough, and they've done a great job at it. But as far as, like, say you just have card in hand, we always start with eBay last sold. It's not perfect, and there's other ways to get, drill down on the data a little more to get better data. But let's say you start with eBay last sold. So you have a Jaden Daniels Prism base card. You're going to type Jaden Daniels Prism base rookie card. If it was the silver, you'd want to throw silver in there. If it has a card number on the back, not a serial number, like it's out of 10 or out of 100, it's just a card number 142 or whatever. You might want to put that in there. Once you get the listings, you got to go down to sold items. So you're going to scroll down on your computer screen and hit sold items because we don't care what they're listed for. There's tons of cards that are listed incorrectly with the wrong pricing. But once we get to see what they're selling for, eBay's data goes about 90 days backwards. So you can see like, okay, a base sold for this 20, for 10, for 15, start to come up with an average in your head of what they're basically selling for. And then I have to explain to people that there's eBay fees. And so just because you see it sell for something on eBay, that's what someone who listed it on eBay received from it. But it gives us a good starting platform to kind of value cards out. Because whether you're trading or selling or buying, to have that understanding of what the value of the card is super important and critical. And this is something we teach to everybody, 55-year-olds getting back in the hobby or 15-year-olds who are like unhappy with a trade they made on the bus. And it's like, here, let me show you TCG Player, which is what I would use for TCG. It's owned by eBay. It's tcgplayer.com. Literally Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, One Piece. Go there and you can type in the character name, say Charizard, and just click enter and see all the Charizards in existence and kind of match up yours with the one you're looking for. You could look at the card number on the bottom of the card and also input that detail. But going back to sports, for Pokemon, it's very easy. TCGplayer.com, super easy. There's an app too. Don't think about it any further. That's super easy. For sports, though, again, eBay last sold, and then there's other sites that can drill down the data and give you a little more information. Cardladder.com is a paid subscription. That's pretty solid resource if you're trying to figure out, like, what did this card sell for? What best offer did this card sell for? If you don't want to pay for it,
Cardladder, I don't use it, but you have to pay for it.
You got to pay for it. The workaround, if you will, is there's a site called 130 Point. That's 130 Point. 130 Point, yeah. That one's just fine. Like, honestly, that one, it's not as smooth. The UI is not as good, but it's like, it works.
It's got all the clickbait ads and stuff.
Yeah, it's a little bit 90s for my liking, but like, it does work. And for whatever reason, eBay won't show what a best offer was. You go there and see, literally match it up by the day and say, okay, it was a best offer for 1,800, but the card sold for 1,000. Yeah. And that way people aren't like, trying to say it's over 1,800. That's obviously not factual. So it's just agreeing on value is easier said than done. But if you have the right tools, you can kind of start to make sense of it. And if it's a super rare card, you just got to kind of use historical data as best you can and try to come up with a value. Yeah. So it's a little more difficult than a prism-based Jaden Daniels. So
no, I appreciate that insight. And we have one question in the chat, and then chat, stay tuned. I don't know if you guys knew, I didn't really promote this because I didn't know how much time Mark had, but we're either going to rip Prismatic ETB or Prism Megabox. I'm itching for this one. But Shy Collector in the chat asked, what's Mark's thoughts on the kid that hit the 1/1 from Pirates? Is that Paul Skeen? Do you think they took advantage of the kid that hit it? I don't know any baseball, but I saw they offered. I knew someone pulled one of the Paul Skeens. It was a kid and a father and a son, right? But I didn't. Yep. It's not really on my feed, so I didn't really see like who offered him what. Is it Golden that probably is trying to chase that card back or something?
So yeah, everybody was trying to chase that card. It was the 1/1 debut patch from Topps Chrome Update. The debut patch, they added these to their jerseys on their debut game. It became a highly coveted card to get because you're getting that patch in the card. So much so that the Pirates actually offered like 30 years of season tickets. I think Livy Dunn said, if you bring us the card, like you can hang out with me in the suite and watch the game.
Who's Livy Dunn? Sorry.
That's Paul Skeen's, I believe, fiance. I think she was at LSU gymnast, kind of influencer. I don't know much about her, but basically there was everyone jumping on this marketing bandwagon. Seth Meyers with Late Night Seth Meyers even said you could come get tickets to our show if you bring the card. And it was just like fun marketing. I don't think anyone was taking advantage of. Obviously, whoever got that card, did
they end up selling it? Did they actually give it away?
Yeah, they got it graded. They got it graded, and then they pushed it through Fanatics Collect, actually. So, they took in that offer from the Pirates, said, thank you. We're from California, though, so wouldn't make sense to get 30 years of Pirate season tickets. And I don't blame them. Like, go get the cash value of what that thing is worth. Send it to auction. And that's what they did. And it did grade well. I think got a PSA 10.
Of course it did. It's the only one. The PSA is gonna not give that an 8.
That's it. Although I got a funny story. So one of our biggest hits ever in shop was a Mac Jones.
That was a question I had for you. What was the biggest hit? But I want to make sure we got. Yeah. Sorry, we're all over.
Yeah, it was a 101 Superfractor Mac Jones from Contenders Optic. And we had 6 boxes allocated. I think a case is like 20 boxes. So we just had our 6 little boxes. And I ended up doing a marketing video and pulling this card. And it was like in the little hobby world, it was one of the coolest things ever for like a day or two. There's a YouTube channel that shows the biggest hits in the world. It was number 2, and they valued it at like 75 grand. You know, we're on cloud 9. And of course, with Mac Jones, it's kind of funny, like where it went and all that. But at the time, I did send it through Golden. And to your point about grading 1 of 1s, it got a 9, PSA 9, but then the autograph grade got a 9. So it just kind of stained it a bit, if you will.
Better crack
9.
Better crack it.
Yeah, well, and that's the problem. Lessons learned. I'd already sent it to them to grade and then auction.
Yeah.
So, you know, I probably, you know, here's a lesson in any business setting is sometimes your first offer is your best offer. And I remember having some offers come in and thinking, I'm going to wait. I'm going to grade it. That's what the Sharks do. Not the play. This time it's particularly because it's a 1 of 1. Some people don't even grade 1 of 1s, but in this case, it got a 9 and a 9, and I think it sold for 17,000. So I'm not too happy or not too mad about that. But at the time, people were coming up to me being like, "Man, sorry that didn't hit the way you wanted to. That was a huge card." And I was like, "Well, that's NFL quarterbacks. I think he got a hurt ankle in training camp. The New England media was all over him. He wasn't going to be the next Brady, you know, obviously." And same card sold recently for $1,200 though. So, you know, it's funny, man. It's funny how this stuff goes.
I always say a profit now is a loss later, especially if if the value of that is like out of the control. Like if the player gets hurt or whatever, like the Paul Skeens, I would make sure you cash out on that while it's hot because 2 years from now he might just be a bust or whatever. I don't follow baseball that much, but
particularly a pitcher though, you know, they're at the mercy of their arm
or whatever they call it. Appreciate those gifts, Oscar and TikTok. You the man, bro. I appreciate all the love and support. Oh, I know what that means, but that's awesome. All right, chat. All right. Do you have time for a quick rip? You might be good.
Let's rip.
I know there's been Yamal's autos pulled in your shop.
Let's go. Yes, I love that product.
Shy Collector said, bro, I hit a 1 of 1 Trevor. It came back at PSA 8, bent the card, and PSA 8 PSA bent the card. Oh, PSA bent the card, and he was mad.
Oh, and that's the thing. That's what's so scary, right? About grading and like you're giving up your card. It's going into someone else's hands. All I can say is always take a lot of pictures of your cards. Always have your proper documentation, you know, and whether you're sending cards to sell or whether you're sending them to grading, just make sure you have documentation of your card prior to sending it in. That's the best way to kind of protect yourself.
Before we get into the rips, we can talk about it simultaneously, I guess. And I know I guess it's technically competition with you, but have you heard any like feedback on like the whole GameStop grading stuff? Or I know
hey man,
like getting into the hobby heavy.
Yeah, I always say though, community over competition. That's awesome. You know, there's a GameStop near me. I'm sure they're going to do some things that I do as well or better than I do, and then there's going to be some things that we do much better than them. And that's the beauty of the spirit of competition. They're a big name though, so when PSA gets involved with them, when you know, there's big brands that are being involved with PSA going into GameStop, that's going to bring more momentum into our industry. So I love it. I hope McDonald's starts grading cards. You know, I mean, honestly, like,
did you and your daughter go get those Happy Meals? I was gonna go.
Oh, for sure. You know, it's like, well, no, but it's funny because people try and come trade these to me now, and it's like, you know, hey man, bump the brakes. I'll go get a Happy Meal with my kids, but they're pretty abundant. You know, people are definitely trying to put the sets together and sell them.
And you hold them for like 10 years, maybe they'll go up to $3.
Exactly. It's just like anything. Keep it sealed.
If you want to get those Bloomin' Waters that are coming out in my Costco here soon. But
yes, that's another one that's a hot product people are asking about for sure.
Let's open up Prismatic ETB.
Let's do it, man.
Screen share TikTok. We gotta. Yo, Oscar, I appreciate all those gifts, man. You are the GOAT. Let me see. Every time I do the screen, a change of scene on my thing, it messes up TikTok. So TikTok, if you're watching, you're better off just going to watch on the red app, purple app, or green app right now. If it does cancel out. But we're gonna try something. We gotta be cognizant of Mark's time. It's his day off, and he's spending way too much time with us. But we appreciate you.
I'm having fun, man. I appreciate the opportunity, man. I wish I had more Bears trivia questions right, but you know what? You can't. You got. Hey, you got to swing. You got to try and hit homers.
Those
Yeah,
get the views. People will start.
exactly. Hey, man, I'm willing to jump on a grenade. You know, it's part of it. You got to take chances in this life, and I knew what I was getting into. I was getting into the Lions, done a little bit with the Bears, but it's all good, man. I know it's a passionate fan base, so I'm happy to always riff with you, anybody, and that's passionate.
All right, it worked. It worked. All right, chat.
Let's go.
Can you see it, Mark? I don't.
Yes.
I'm gonna get a better break set up here. Right now, we just got my dirty mouse pad. Let me go wash my hands.
Because say that's game used right there, man. You can tell that mat is game used.
Let me go.
You can cut that up and sell it in a card, man.
I'm gonna wash my hands because I know we got the God pack over here. So let me quickly wash my hands.
Can you imagine if I brought you that type of luck?
Dude,
can you imagine?
I would go and drive to Illinois right now.
You better
depending on how I feel.
Throw me an FIR, drop one off with it too.
Oh, actually, I got the cloth. That's what I actually meant.
Let's go. Oh, yeah.
We're gonna do the excitement.
I was gonna say both are exciting products, and you know, Jaden really made Prism exciting this year. You know, I don't think anyone should be spending $1,000 on a PSA 10 base card of anybody. Maybe Mahomes, right? But like, it got a little weird with that. But he is a special talent, so I don't blame people for jumping and trying to invest in him. Just, you know, always watch out for those first initial comps, right? Those first initial. I think one went for like $1,500 for a base card, and it was like, wait a second. Some of his more desirable cards, big PSA 10, are literally right there next to it. His like blue out of 349 or something. So it's like, just make sure you're doing your research. That's all I always tell people.
Right. Shy Collector said, please tell me he got the Walter Payton question correct. Shy, it was different questions in the last guest.
I needed a Walter Payton. I needed that question, man. The Cedric Benson stumped me. Oh my goodness. It's all good though. It's all good.
Chat, we got a Prismatic Evolution ETB. The last time we opened this, we pulled a Sylveon on the last pack. Hopefully, Mark is going to bring us some luck. I've been looking at this the whole time Mark's been talking. I'm sorry, Mark. I've been looking at this.
We had an Umbreon ripped in shop, but I personally have not seen any ripped in terms of like any of the special illustration. No, I wasn't. I just saw the video. So I have not seen a special illustration rare ripped. I've ripped a few ETBs with my daughter, and we've gotten nothing. We had a couple cool gold cards in the Blood Moon, Ursaluna, but so I guess we did see a special illustration rare, but none of the ones that everyone's talking about, like the Sylveon or the Umbreon. Some really cool designs from this set.
But who was at the shop? Someone else?
It was a father and his son.
Oh,
and
I thought it was like okay. I thought it was.
Yeah, no, they ripped it, and
thankfully
my employee pulled out his camera, and we got it on our Instagram stories. But they actually pulled it from the 3-pack blister, the tech sticker collection. They pulled an Umbreon SIR.
Yeah, I saw that video.
Yeah, it was amazing. And it was just like, you know, you got to love that. They're actually set collectors too. So every Pokemon release, they're coming to try and fill the set. They do it through opening a lot more than, say, someone who's trying to chase it on the secondary market. Everyone has their ways. It's enjoyable and fun for them to open some packs. But to get that out of a pack, I'm sure they didn't even expect that. I mean, that card is so hard to hit right now, and that's why it's carrying such a premium.
There goes $60. They're already $60.
Hey, 60 is not bad, man. That's retail. That's retail these days. That's not bad, right?
But let's see how this EV promo looks, because mine on the last one was cooked.
Oh no, that's not good.
It was not centered at all. Let's check out the EV promo. Ooh. That might be a PSA 10 EV, because these EV promos are...
It's nice. It's nice you get a nice card before you even open a pack. That's definitely cool. We like the poster collection. My daughter and I opened up one of the poster collections. Now she has the poster on her wall.
Oh, nice.
Those are fun. Yeah, it's a cool poster.
So here's the... I don't know if you can see the centering on that is a lot better than my other one. All right.
That'll play. It's just tough with everyone getting a promo. It's, you know, it's like, where do those end up going long term? You know, that's the only challenge I have with the promos.
Oh, this one. Why was this one backwards? We got to put that.
Could be a sign. Could be a sign.
That's the last one. So we get 9 packs, right? 9 packs. I'm excited.
Good luck, dude. I wish I could rip right now. Come on.
I don't see. I buy a bunch of product and then like for videos, and then I just so backlogged on content and videos. I never actually open anything. I have 2023 NBA Optic Mega Boxes. I was supposed to do a video last year, and I never.
Oh my
never ripped
goodness.
it yet. All right.
And send a couple of those to the shop, man. No,
Chat. Can you guys see this right? Put in the comments if you guys can see or hear. All right, this is the moment of truth. All right, if you guys don't know, we're chasing essentially a $2,000, $1,500 to $2,000 Umbreon, right? The Sylveon that we already pulled, and then the other evolutions.
any of those special illustration rares they're just beautiful, and they sell really well. And then also, you get these Pokeball cards, and then some of them are Master Ball,
Yeah.
so you have to watch out for those as well.
All right. I don't even know what I'm doing. I always bullshit at half the time mark, but it's someone.
I was gonna say these are gonna have 3 hits. Basically, it'll be like a hollow and a reverse hollow. So everything will be in the back now. So in that case, there's your energy that you just put in front, and then you'll have your, quote unquote hits in the back after you go through a few base cards.
I did pull a Friends in Paldea on the last one too. So I pulled a Flareon Pokeball and a full art like Friends in Paldea and the Sylveon in the last ETB.
Very nice. Yeah, some of the Master Balls have some good sales behind them. There's your reverse hollow. Another reverse.
Yeah, you're gonna have
to. And hollow.
All right, it's only first pack. Only first
well,
pack.
Not the best first pack, but it wasn't horrible.
All right, chat. This is exciting.
I mean,
what's the last thing that you opened?
This with my daughter. Yeah, when I first got into the shop, man, it was like I wanted to try the products I'd never tried. So everything was like a marketing opportunity. But as you go, I realized like, hey, man, I should be a good business owner and not open any product, even for marketing, and just focus on shelving the products as best as I can. And so I try not to rip too much. But with the Pokemon, hollow, my daughter would love that one. Purple.
Does she have? Is she building the master set for Prismatic?
I'd say we have a decent amount of cards, but not enough to start getting into a master set. No, we were mainly just ripping a few because it was hot, and we were seeing if we could. I showed her some of the pictures from the poster, and she was getting super geeked about trying to pull one with the diamonds around their head. So we got a few like EX ones, but not, like I said, none of the illustration rares except the Blood Moon, which of all the special illustration rares is probably not the best one. It sells good. It's just in terms of looks.
Well, I'm gonna edit the rip part video of this for YouTube, and you can watch it with back with your daughter.
Awesome, man. Then she's gonna say, "Dad, let's go get another box." Yeah, she's so funny. When we first started opening Pokemon, it was like all she cared about were the energies. It'd be like if we got a purple energy, it was a win. So like a lot of the memories I have from cards in her collection are like little $5-10 hits that like I was like, oh cool, like we got this card. And when she was 2, she literally didn't care at all about that. She just cared about the energy being purple. So now she's almost 5. We're starting to get to a point where she starts to know like, oh, so there's people chasing this Umbreon, and that's such a cool card. I want it. But she has no clue about the values or anything. She's still it's all about card aesthetic. So
yeah, for sure. And sometimes the best card aesthetics are the ones that aren't even really worth anything.
Seriously,
what did I pull the other day? I was like, it's not even worth anything, but I really like the look of it.
A lot of people getting back into Pokemon are just like, how do I figure out what's valuable? Some of the coolest looking cards are not. And it's like, yeah, you got to start to dive into all the different little nuances of it. But it's just enjoy the experience for what it is. Well, if you pull something that looks really cool.
It's expensive.
Yeah, just say,
get a little ROI off of it,
Yeah, no, definitely make sure you don't like I said, don't throw any cards away. Reverse hollows, like you never know in time where some of these could appreciate or a character gets more popular. So, I say that with any pack anyone ever opens at the shop. It's so important to not just dismiss, if you get a bad pack or something. Like there's still, like I always joke around with like a kid who opens up a pack.
Leafeon.
Yeah, it'll play. Just a hollow, but still,
Yeah.
I mean, it's I'll say to the kid, they'll like leave $5 in rookies, and I'm like, why are you leaving $5 in rookies? Like, if I dropped $5, would you trip over it? I wouldn't. I'd
Nope.
pick it up. So it's like, come on, like you gotta one the value of the hard-earned dollar, and it's like, so if you're opening a pack like I did 20, 30 years ago for $20, keep your cards.
Yeah.
There's no don't leave them just because you saw some guy do it or something. Like, just it's important.
I always put the
So
rookies in like a box or something, and like if I go to a card show or something, I might just do like a dollar bin or something, or
for
even those
sure.
reverse hollows. Especially like the 150. I haven't ripped any 151. I have two ETBs, that I bought like a couple of years ago before I was getting into the back into the hobby. I just asked my buddies if like which one's worth what. That's at the time where 151 ETBs were all over the shelf. I wish I bought more, but
Sure.
wait, did I do the? No, I didn't do it. Did I? No.
But yeah, I would love the rookie box. It's so much fun going back on those and seeing like what players finally eventually made it. And in this case with Pokemon, you never know what's gonna. I mean, it feels like Charizard was the big character forever, and then now it's like Umbreon
Yeah,
is
now it's
getting
the Eevee.
so
I
much
never knew
love.
those are so popular. Now there's different ones. Before, like when I played the game, there wasn't like Leafeon or Sylveon when I was a kid. Like it was just Espeon, Jolteon, Flareon, and Vaporeon in the
Yeah,
Umbreon.
it's
Um,
yeah the whole it's changed completely, man. Just looking at that old base set and just seeing how different it is now, and like it's fun though. Like that's the evolution of it. So
Bear Shy Collect says if we don't hit anything, we need to open up the NFL. Shy, don't even bring that negativity, man. We still got like 5 more packs. And Colin says, Sam, guess who the Timberwolves commentators are for Bailey Sports FanDuel Network? I don't know who the commentators are, Colin. Who are they? Let's see. So I got like the full art of this one
yeah,
in the last Friends Until Day. I don't even know how people play I never knew how to play the game as a kid. I knew how to play
yeah,
Yu-Gi-Oh. I only played the
sure.
Pokemon video games.
Yeah, we're
Pokeballs, Weasel.
gonna say there's a Pokeball. And there's play stores and there's more stores focused on collecting and trading and the values of the cards. We have a great store near us, Fair Game, that is does play events and stuff. So it's kind of nice balance between the two of us. They're more of a board game store, but they have the tables and space for play. So whereas we're more focused on the collecting aspect of it.
What do people do with these? Should I like? I mean,
So those are for I believe Pokemon Go app. So some people collect them and then they give you different things in the app for Pokemon Go. So there's a value to them, but I don't keep them. I just give them away at the shop.
if anyone actually pauses my videos, I mean, I've only ripped 2 Pokemon products on a video, but
I was gonna say that they could steal your code cards. No, I'm just kidding.
no, yeah, I was like, they can have it. I'm not gonna. I can
Yeah,
barely edit my own clips, let alone go and play Pokemon Go.
if
How
they're
many
if they're doing
Pokemon
that, that's
games do
totally
I own?
okay. Yeah, some of them are just.
Oh, I thought I got excited. I saw
I,
3.
I thought that was something decent too coming. So I think it was in the Scarlet and Violet era. They started doing like the 3 hits per pack. So there's just more hollows. There's Glaceon. Little more, that hollow nature to the packs. Whereas before it'd be like a lot of base, and then you may or may not even get a decent card. Um, there's more hollows and reverse hollows now because of that. So it's
Yeah.
not like it's good. It's a little more exciting, but sometimes those older packs are just as fun to rip because it's like you're aiming for that one card in the back, and where these it is hard to tell until you get through the full pack. Like, did I get a good pack or what?
No Eevee at the beginning. That would mean you got
Yeah.
it. Oh yeah, yeah. Now I'm gonna have the itch, and now I'm gonna want to do 5 more of these.
It's fun, man. And so long as you have fun with it and you take your time and you actually enjoy what you're doing, that's the way it goes. Like, I've seen some people that barely look at the card, and it's like we started the call with. There's plenty of ways to gamble. Like, this is probably not the best use of your gambling funds. Um, you know,
Oh, so I don't have that Sylveon.
I was gonna say you picked up all 3 of the hollows.
I have a
But
couple
it's
from the
fun.
other ones too.
Like if you're not into Pokemon, I wouldn't be chasing Prismatic and ripping it. But if you're into it, like to your point, you have a childhood, with Pokemon in it. Same here, man. This is why we have it at our shop, but not Magic or something else, that
Yeah.
I just wasn't into as a kid.
Shy Collector says Japanese packs are fun. A hit in every pack. I haven't ripped any Japanese.
We have some Japanese at our shop for sure. We always try to at least have like a booster box or two because they are a lot of fun and typically cheaper booster boxes than the American ones.
I want to rip some 151. I just haven't.
Yeah, 151's a lot of fun.
Hollow Energy.
Say you've pulled a better card than I have from this, so. Is that a Pokeball? Okay. It's been a tough box so far. It's been a tough box.
Yeah. Oh,
that's cool. There you go.
EX. That's not bad. That's a few bucks,
play.
right? That's
Yeah,
about $5.
that's a nice
Saw
one.
that at the card shop yesterday. Not too bad. Okay.
Get your heart beating a little bit,
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like all right.
I appreciate the reverse jinx you try to throw in there. I do that with all my sports bets all the time.
Yeah.
There, Mark.
100%, man.
Saquon's at 98 yards. I need 115. I'm like, I put in the fantasy group chat, Saquon sucks. And then,
Yeah.
30-yard run. There we go. And everyone's like, Sam, I don't know how you do it every week.
Right. I see 2 packs left. I'm like, we gotta shake it up a little bit here because this is a bad box.
Right?
And you pull out the big dog. Let's see it. Come on. Good luck, brother.
I didn't even know what I wouldn't even know what I was looking for. I knew I was looking for the Umbreon, I guess, and when I first did my first ETB video, but I didn't realize like the other ones how much they were.
Oh yeah. And even like the Umbreon, the Master Ball one, that's an excellent card. There's some you got to really be careful with this set that you don't just like throw all your reverse hollows in a box and forget about them because unless just don't. If you do that, don't sell it without looking through it again, right?
Yeah.
That's the key there. So. Techno Radar.
Friends and Pildea Pokeball. I have the full art and the Pokeball.
Hey, building the set.
I will have a different I would need the light coming in, but the lighting's not too bad on here, right? You can still.
No, I can see it. It's hard to tell if it's a Master Ball or not, but that's the only thing, That's man. Let's get a little last pack mojo going here. Let's get it, man.
This is the one that was facing
This is
backwards.
it.
That was the one
that was it. Hey, there is something to that too. When I pulled that Mac Jones 1/1, I just recall like opening the box and like, it's probably like hindsight's 2020, but like I was like something about this pack, man. It's like someone was handling it. That's all my superstitions. But at the end of the day, I hope for the best for you, my friend. Good luck.
Appreciate it.
Because for every pack where you feel like there's something good in it, there's
when I grabbed
a
this
graveyard
one,
of packs.
And this one I touched at the top and it was dusty. And I was like, oh, that feels different than the other one.
It was flipped. Someone did that recently with the mystery jerseys at our shop, and it was a Steph Curry. So like the case, the box was like upside down. I think it was we literally dropped the boxes back so when we opened them. So I think it was more just serendipitous for that person to pick it. But everyone's got their superstitions, man. You got to go with your gut. I don't know if it actually helps at all, but
what did you say?
It makes it more fun.
Oscar, what's that emoji there? All right.
Luck, dude.
Evie.
Bang! I'm ready with the soundbite.
Or what is the Demi got? I don't even know what the Demi got is. Good luck. Oh, I appreciate you, Oscar. Another Sylveon. That's just a reminder. Hey, I got lucky at the last one.
Oh yeah. Well, I know the hit rates are really tough. With
no, I can't believe I hit it. It was like what?
That's a great hit, man. Because yeah, they're like I said, I haven't seen one yet personally. We had one hit in the shop, like I said, but I have not seen one myself. So, and again, so you look at it like you got a good deal relative to what the market is selling these at, but there's always that, hey, should I have just got a Blastoise Hollow, a pretty good condition Blastoise Hollow from 99. So, so it's many ways to slice the cake and play the game, but so long as you enjoy it, you have fun while you're doing it, you realize like you're not going to hit those SIRs every ETB, because if that was the case, they would be the 1990s junk wax all over again. Everyone would have a Griffey down rust rated rookie. So, it's fun. Just go through it, and it's not everyone's going to be a winner though.
Doing a little recap for those who missed.
Yeah, my daughter would love that purple hollow. We've got about 12 of them. So,
Oh, you got the purple ones? Oh, I was gonna say,
Oh.
I'll send it to you if you guys.
we got a pink one, a purple one. I mean, those are truly, I think, some of her favorite hits. But that's what makes it fun. Everything in there you just showed, there's different things people are looking for. So,
all right, should we do the mega? You got time for the mega?
I got time for the mega, my man.
Oh, okay, because Shy
Let's
Collector
rip.
says it. We got to stick to it. This one,
Let's
I'm
rip.
I'm prepared
Maybe you
to
can
lose
make it
more
and
money
get
on this. This is
Get the
$60.
Jaden. Get the pink Pulsar Jaden, or even a base or a silver. Wow, can you imagine a silver Jaden?
Yeah. Ooh. Okay.
Whew.
You're getting me a little excited about it. But
Well,
I don't have too much.
we're chasing a bit here
expectations
now. We're
for-
chasing a bit, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
Struck out on the ETB. We're chasing a little bit.
I know I could sell this thing for like $80 at the trade show. I
Definitely
make
could sell
$20.
it, man. It's an asset right now, and we're about to rip it. So,
This is
but
pretty centered. What do you think?
for the content.
No, never mind. It's not centered. Okay.
See if your sports ripping is better than your Pokemon ripping. Although, like I said, you hit the second best card, so I really shouldn't say anything.
Yeah, I was playing with house money with that ETB. I was playing with house money. Football time, Shy Collector says. Now Oscar says, now I'm excited. I appreciate those gifts, Oscar. I appreciate you, man. All right. We're gonna be ripping an NFL 2024 mega box. I got this at Target, came across a couple at Walmart, and this was $65. So let's hope we can get a Jaden, a Bo, and kind of go from there.
Good luck, man. And that's a solid price, man. It's hard. You can't find that on eBay for $60, So
I kind of identified I came across the lady restocking Walmart shelves, and she was so friendly. She was getting like cursed out and trampled at 6 a.m. by like the guy buying all the scalper buying all the Pokemon 151 ETBs. But I went there after the gym around like 9 a.m. So she just had all the Pokemons. I did pick up a Temporal Forces ETB.
Man, those people do not get paid enough, man, to deal with any random time.
I was just being friendly with her, and she said, I was like, "Oh, did you happen to get any of these?" She just showed me the whole sheet that she brought restocked, and Paldea Fates Charizard 10 that got taken, all the 151 ETBs, and
yep.
So
it's a wild world out there. Good luck, my friend.
Appreciate it. We get what, 6 packs? We'll save that one. You get autos in these? Oh, because I was at a trade night the other night, and I sold I gotta fund the channel. So when I come across these, I buy a couple to sell, and then I rip a couple for videos. But
sure.
He sold he pulled a Jimmy Johnson auto, so you can get autos. Ooh, is that a
that'll play? Yeah, that's one of the pink pulsars. I think it's 5 per box. So.
Oh, the pink one is Walmart or Target, and then the green one is either Walmart or Target. Okay.
Yeah, typically that box shape usually will tell you too where it was originally came from. I think Target, it's the horizontal, and then vertical boxes are the Walmart variety. And then there's a hobby mega variety that comes straight from Panini. Those are the ones that we usually get at least upon release. Hey, little JJ.
McCarthy.
It's cool.
Oh, it's a Michigan. Okay, little JJ.
Little insert. Roman Wilson from Michigan.
It's a rookie. Taron Arnold.
Yeah, that's cool. A rookie card.
Yeah.
No, I mean, who other besides the quarterbacks? I mean, you got Brock Bowers is obviously someone you want to get.
Yeah, Brock Bowers, Brian Thomas Jr., Malik.
Brian Thomas Jr., Malik, Lad McConkey.
I love Lad. I love Lad.
Yeah, he's an excellent chase. Let's see here.
Ed McCaffrey.
That's a guy from my
Shot
childhood.
Collector said Caleb Kaboom incoming. I don't think you can get Kabooms from Prism.
No, not in this SKU, but a silver of Caleb or a Jaden Daniels silver would be excellent. There's a Levis, and that's a silver right there.
Is that
technically?
How'd you see that?
Yeah, that's a silver. Hey man, train die. That is a silver. But that would be your second year, so not as good, obviously, as a rookie.
I mean, rookie Will Levis is not even worth anything. I put him in my
he was hot for a bit. That fell.
Redskins, or I should say, Commander. Well, Redskins at the time.
Art Monk.
Art Monk, not Jaden.
Not quite Jaden, but it's the team. Yeah, the right team there.
Damn, this
See a little Thomas on the back there.
Little spoiler? You saw it already?
Oopsies, I was peeking.
Mark's thirsty for some wax because he's already spawned everything.
I want to see you hit something good, man. It's honestly, like, that's the thing. I get so much joy when a customer of mine hits a big card or they get a card that they've been looking for. There's nothing like it. So
Brian Thomas Jr. We'll take that, I guess.
Brian Thomas.
DJ Moore Oscar says.
Tony Dorsett. My dad grew up watching that guy. Absolute legend. Big reason why he's a Cowboy fan.
And then you would have liked that Jimmy Johnson auto, the guy.
Oh yeah, I love when they do stuff like that too, and just get other like coaches involved in it. And Prism has all the coaches now. It seems it's pretty cool. Vinny, the freak. There's like a hyper. That's
silver Jerry Judy.
Yeah, it's a silver second year, or not second year, silver flashback. Keon John or Coleman.
Drake May.
Hey, that'll play. Little base rook. Very nice.
$2.
In your pink.
Shy Collector says this is why I don't rip anymore. Too much product. Rookie.
It's a lot.
Hey,
Lad. Rookie.
Looks like a little blue, right?
You got a shot there for Lad.
Or it could be Xavier Legette. Or it could be.
Who had that on their bingo card, right? Yeah. Not me.
Oh, this is a thicker one. All right, we'll say the thicker one. So I don't rip it.
Man. It's so much fun, and obviously it's a part of our business, ripping, but it's anytime a kid comes in, I always say, look at the cases. Look at the cases first, man. Go find some deals in the cases. Go to a card show and find some deals at a card show.
Zamir White ruined my fantasy league.
I was gonna say a lot of hope with them.
Him and Pacheco.
All right, and you're pink. Oh. Hey, that's because I guessed him earlier in my trivia. Got it wrong. Here he is. Let's go. Khalil. Man.
Shy Collector, he went over to the TikTok. He's like, all right, time for 151 after this. Man, you have to hit something with Mark. I mean, I got more prismatic ETBs, but
man, I'm not bringing the luck today.
And I also have an Obsidian Flames. I'm also trying to use those for I appreciate those gifts there, Oscar. You the man. I think we use all of our pink. Yeah, this is a thicker card.
It's a mem, yeah. Here's your mem card.
Urlacher.
Good luck. How fitting with the Urlacher. Started off.
All right. Silver, Trevor
Lawrence. Oh, man. T-Law Silver.
The Chiefs. Xavier Worthy.
Hey, that'll play
That's not
in the
bad.
Super Bowl. Hey, he's
I
talented,
gotta
man.
list that on eBay right now before the Chiefs are in the Super
Hey,
Bowl.
as they say in the industry, this would be like a tablecloth patch. The more colors, whether it's a 2-color, 3-color, 4-color patch, the more desirable. Obviously, when it's like if it was just white, it's probably the least desirable. They call that a napkin, but this is like say a red tablecloth, if you will. And the only way to make those cheese patches even better is like if it has some of the yellow and some of the white or
Yeah.
a piece of the actual logo. Oh man, those are fun cards. But typically with Prism like megas like that, that's your typical patch in there. That's going to be something similar to that. That was fun, man. Sorry I couldn't bring you the love today,
No,
man.
you're
We got to
good,
do
man.
this
It was a
again.
pleasure. We got some clips that I'll be trying to get out through the next couple weeks here for us. A little recap
Awesome,
and
man. It
everything.
was a lot of fun. I appreciate you taking a few swings here with the prismatic and the prism, and it's good content nonetheless. So
No, 100%. I appreciate you, Mark. Let's see here. Do a little recap. Brian Thomas Jr.,
he's a good player.
Jared Verse. We'll get. And we forgot about the JJ. That was the first one we pulled.
JJ,
So
good dude. JJ.
not too bad. Not too bad.
Yeah, it's kind of
There
par
was
for
a
course standard, for Prism and Prismatic. You kind of gave like a nice base experience there,
yeah,
So
right. You got this. People got
it,
the sweat out on the stream without the cost of
yeah,
their wallet. So
got a good sweat. Didn't have to get a workout in today. Got a little sweat. No, it's fun, man. It's fun. Can't win them all. It's
no,
part of the fun of collecting and sports cards and Pokemon cards. So
no, 100%. Well, I appreciate you, Mark. Thank you for the amazing stream. We went well over time. I apologize about that, but it was a
no, I had a
blast.
lot of fun.
It was
Thank
a
you.
blast. I'll be clipping this. I'm gonna try to get to some of this week, but I gotta kind of listen to it all and find the clip parts. And then I'll be
Awesome.
putting out on YouTube also like the rip from the prismatic and the prism
Amazing.
mega, and I'll tag you in a bunch of stuff throughout the next couple of weeks. Not necessarily too time sensitive, some of the clip stuff, because
Of course.
we didn't talk about anything too time sensitive. So I was able
No.
to edit and clip some stuff, but I do appreciate you. It was tons of fun. Hopefully we can
Yeah,
do this again here soon, one of these days in the
definitely.
future. And
No, I love your show and love your audience. It's a lot of fun. They're keeping things engaging, and I can appreciate that. And it's good to get humbled a little bit with my Bears trivia. That's never a
we're
bad
gonna clip
thing.
those are easy
That's
clips
never a
first.
bad
Those
thing.
will be easy
You
clips to
know.
put out first. That's one less
Hey,
things on my
let's
to-do list.
go. I'll repost. I'll hang my head up high. You can't hit all home runs, so that's the biggest thing. You got to take shots, man, in life. And
Yeah.
I missed today on that. That's for sure. But I
It's all
appreciate you
good. Shy Collector
nonetheless.
says respect to Mark for pulling up. I appreciate you, Shy. I appreciate everyone for tuning into the stream. Mark, it was a pleasure. Go enjoy the rest of your day off and
I will,
with
man.
the
Thank you.
fam. And then I'll send you those I gotta go get those VHS tapes and not tapes, but the
Yeah, man.
players. I'll go send them to
One
you.
of my good finds lately, the VHS player. We got some of my childhood on VHS, with all these Disney
But
tapes
did
and
you end up getting
Rudy
another?
and all this stuff.
No,
No,
no.
I need your help. I
I
need
got
a
3 of them.
player.
They're like good brands too.
Yeah, because like I was telling Sam, I got this lot and it was awesome. We got, a bunch of VHS tapes. The problem is the VHS player was working and then momentarily then crapped out on me. So he's gonna help me get some VHS players. Probably where shipping is more than the actual cost of them, but we
No,
got to
you
get
don't
that
need to pay me
situated.
for them, bro. You can just send me the
Oh, no
address.
way, man. Come
Dude,
on.
they're
You
sitting
got
in my dad's
that's a lot.
barn. Like
Hey,
I donated a bunch of the actual VHS. I try to look them up on eBay, like the Disney ones, but they're not even. I guess I kept a couple sealed ones, but if we have like 3, they're just sitting up in the barn or whatever. So
well, let's put it this way. If you send me the VHS players and you send me any VHS tapes you got, you get a little 151 booster bundle sent back to you. So how about that?
oh, that sounds like a deal. I appreciate that. I
That
appreciate
sound
that.
reasonable?
That sounds
Awesome.
more than reasonable. Can't
Awesome.
guarantee the amount of VHS tapes I have because I think I did donate a lot of those, but shoot, I'll go
Throw
back
them
to
in
the
the
thrift
box.
store where I got them if I'm getting 151.
Hey, whatever you got, throw it in the box, and I appreciate you, man.
No,
This has
yeah,
been
no,
a ton of
100%.
fun, man.
I have to just the only thing I gotta do is I gotta test them. I gotta find a TV that I can test them on. But I got you. It's gonna take me
Hey,
if you have no particular rush, I'll try to do it within the next week or two.
Nah,
I know exactly where
my
they are.
daughter's rushing me, but you know, it's because we got a little taste of a few videos before the VHS player like ate them up and all this stuff. And it was like, we got to stop wasting our VHS tapes. This thing is going to eat up every tape. So,
No,
uh,
what happened? Because I was cleaning out over the summer. My dad's got this huge barn, old barn, and we wanted to clear it. That's all storage, and then kind of convert it to like a flat studio for someone maybe to rent out or something. And I put the 3 VHS players like right in a box. Like I wrapped the wires cleanly and everything. Cause oh, look these up like a little later or whatnot. So I know exactly where they are. I just gotta go get them and test them. So
151 booster to incentivize you. Booster bundle.
Booster button, let's go. Hope I can get that charged
Let's
already.
go.
We'll have to rip
Let's
that with
go.
you on the stream then.
Hey, we can make that happen for
Or
sure, man. We can make that happen for sure.
or do we open it or do we keep it sealed? You watch that guy?
I'd probably keep it sealed, man. That's just me. You know, that's just me. Unless, you know, if you have a good reason to, which again, that's what this is all about. For me, my good reason is my daughter. So
Yeah.
I love ripping Pokemon with her. By myself, I don't rip it anymore, but
Yeah.
it's my reason. That's my it. So, but thank you again for having me, dude. I appreciate it. And looking forward to jumping back on in the future.
Yeah, we would love to have you here soon, Mark. I appreciate your time. Enjoy the rest of your night. Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
God bless, man. Take care. And thank you to everyone tuning in. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Take
Thank
care.
you, Mark. Have a good night.
Take care, guys.
All right, Chad. That was plenty of fun. That was a lot of fun. Your boy's going to have to do a lot of editing. Oscar said, I'd love to get into Pokemon, but only the 90s. Don't really know these. But you don't need to know the new Pokemon. You just got to know which ones are the ones worth chasing for. And your boy pulled a $500 card last time he ripped one. Michael Silvers, I recommend turning your mic up. Currently, big difference in the audio. I apologize, Michael. I did turn it up a little bit. If you can hear me better now. But guys, that was awesome. That was fun. Got to rip some product and talk the hobby, talk Bears with Mark. Appreciate everyone who tuned in. I got a lot of work to catch up on tonight. For Money You Prefer Sports, I know, dude. There might be more money in the Pokemon side of things. But yeah, we gotta do a segment together for sure, Shy, for sure. I'm in the middle of some personal stuff with like my businesses and stuff that I'm trying to get out of like off my plate. So once I get that, I'm gonna try to get into consistent streaming schedule, and we'll get that linked up soon here, bro. Like this is probably gonna be like the only stream this week, especially when I gotta edit all this stuff. So I'm really trying to get in a consistent schedule, as you guys have been here. I'm trying to do like a Warzone, like Call of Duty or Fortnite night. So that is that. I appreciate everyone who tuned into the stream. Appreciate all the gifts from Oscar. Appreciate all the love and support, the engagement from Colin, Football Go, everyone who tuned in, Shy, Oscar, Flexin. We had Flexin and Scooter pull up on the Purple app. So I appreciate all the love and support. I got to get going here. I got to get some other work stuff done. Got a couple fun announcements. Appreciate you, Shy. Appreciate you. Got a few announcements that I'll be pushing out here. Got some new affiliate partners and stuff that I'm excited to talk about. Here's a little sneak peek. That's fire. So definitely appreciate and love you guys, but we're gonna end the stream here. Time to go watch the Orange Half. Yo, Oscar, you freaking savage, bro. I love y'all. I'll talk to you later. I love y'all. Bear down, peace. Stay tuned on the Instagram and the Discord for upcoming streams and content. I love y'all.